Good morning, my friends. Now the FIFA Women's World Cup gets underway in just under 2 hours with the Irish women taking on co-host Australia. RTE News journalist Samantha Libreri is on the ground in Sydney and joins us now. Samantha, good morning.
Good evening.
How are you? It's great to talk to you.
Here. It's lovely.
Come here. Yeah. So what time is it? What time is it over there? I know kick off.
Let me check my watch. It is 6:05 in the evening. But because we're in winter in Sydney, it's actually pitch dark here. It gets dark around 5:30, and there's a big screen in front of me here in Stadium Australia, which tells me it's 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 18 seconds to kick off.
Whoop whoop. So where are you exactly, and what's the atmosphere like?
So I am behind the goal inside the 80,000-seater stadium, and there's nobody in here at the moment except the media. There's one or two Matilda's flags have started showing up. The fans aren't here yet, so 2 hours to kick off. They're probably only starting to make their way to the turnstiles right now. But just seeing this setup and seeing the scale and the size of this, I mean, remember that this team last played in Tallaght Stadium a couple of weeks ago to a record crowd of 7,633, and tonight there's some variations on the figures, because when you put cameras and medias and everything else into a stadium, this has the capacity of over 80,000, but it may only be about 75,000. It's still a huge leap from 7,600 in Tallaght.
Absolutely huge. Can we talk about what happened at the friendly last week?
Yeah, I mean, it was behind closed doors, so none of the media were allowed inside, so it's all second-hand information at the moment. But you've probably heard by now that Ireland were playing Colombia in this friendly, and it was behind closed doors. And the reason they keep it behind closed doors is, for tactical reasons. They don't want to share what exactly is going on. And there was some resistance to the Irish media coming in because the Colombians didn't want them reporting anything that might give away their secrets to their opponents, because we're not playing them at the moment in the tournament. And the whole idea of that match is to get match fit, to play a game, and when it's behind closed doors, you can also use as many subs as you want. So you can use your first 11 players and then take them all off. And that had been the plan until the 20th minute, when Denise O'Sullivan had her contact with one of the players. And, we were told that this was an overly physical game, and Ireland asked for it to be called off. Now, you heard afterwards that the Colombians kind of, I'm trying to think of the appropriate word for radio, but they downplayed what had happened. There was a video leaked of one of their players calling Ireland little girls and using a word that we can't use on the radio at this moment. And so after that, they were asked about it in a couple of press conferences, and they seemed to want to park and move on from it. Then the footage of the incident emerged, and people were saying, was it really as bad as it was made out to be? But Denise O'Sullivan was taken to hospital. There was concern. She is one of our really key players. She plays in the United States. She's, one of the, most experienced players in this squad, and crucial to this game tonight. So the idea
is she fit to play?
She is. So they had a press conference here. The team came from Brisbane to Sydney just yesterday. They came through the airport. You might have seen the lovely scenes of all the Irish here greeting them. And they confirmed at a press conference just after that Denise is fit to play. But we haven't seen any of the players come out here yet to train or warm up or anything like that.
Tell me about the fans now. You must have met a few knocking around. How are they feeling? Are they excited? What's the vibe?
It's pretty amazing, actually. And I really didn't. Yesterday I was going up to the airport to see the team come in from Brisbane into Sydney, and the Irish consul in Sydney had organised a bus up, just one bus now, not several buses or anything, up to the airport to encourage people to go and meet the team. But I wasn't really expecting that much, and there was about 100, maybe 200 people in the airport, who some of them have travelled here from all over Ireland to be here and made that huge journey, and others are locals living here who are from Ireland, and there was only a small crowd of them, but the noise they made, and it was this kind of mad scenario. They were told in one area that they were going to come in here at the bottom of escalators, which we all thought was a bit odd, because you don't usually wait for in an arrivals hall at the bottom of an escalator. And they were all there singing ole ole, and it was a great atmosphere and everything. And then they all just suddenly dash up off the escalator, and all the media who were there were going, what's going on? We followed them up, and they said, no, they're coming in here. So then they did a guard of honour outside the next arrivals area, and they were cheering everybody who came through. So all these poor Australian businessmen were, didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden they were in mid ole ole, and then they all legged it to the other side of the arrivals hall, and myself, and others with cameras and microphones were going, what is happening here? And it somebody had spotted the team bus was down the other end. So this homecoming or welcoming nearly never happened. But they made it just in time for the team to come out. There was a guy there dressed as St. Patrick, high-fiving each of the players. The players were coming out filming the stuff themselves, and you could see that they were kind of taken aback. I don't think they were expecting that kind of welcome. I'm not sure if any other of the teams would have gotten that kind of welcome into Sydney Airport. But it was a really lovely start. And what struck me about it was there was only about maybe 100, 200 people there, but the atmosphere and the noise that they created. And I just think, if there's thousands or tens of thousands in this stadium tonight in that same capacity, well then, there's a real potential to take it over here
and lift spirits. Well, they're certainly getting a lot of support here. I myself and the team are at Templeogue United FC. They're having a viewing party. They have over 1,000 kids that play football here, and they are expecting a huge amount of girls and boys and their mammies and daddies to come and cheer on and watch the girls in green at 11. Samantha, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us. We'll catch up soon. Enjoy every second of it over there. There we go. That was Samantha Liberia, RT News journalist, who is on the ground in Sydney ahead of the FIFA Women's World Cup, and Ireland's campaign getting underway in just under 2 hours with one of the opening matches against Australia. Come on, Ireland. And you can support our ladies and hear live coverage from 11 right here on 2FM.
Turn the world. The FIFA Women's World Cup 2023.
Live on RTE 2FM.
Now, welcome back. We are so excited here in Templeogue United as we build up to this momentous day in women's football. A huge occasion. Ireland are about to take on Australia in their very first game at a Women's World Cup. Rebecca Cray and Alan Cawley are with me here in the Roadcaster in Templeogue, and they are dressed head to toe in green. Alan Cawley is wearing a feather boa, and he looks great, I have to say. You should wear that all the time, Alan.
The feather boa suits me, doesn't it, Marie?
Absolutely does.
Your eyes.
And Rebecca has her Ireland jersey on. Of course she does. And look, I know that nobody wants to celebrate somebody being injured, but the news that Sam Kerr is out of this Australia team, Rebecca, is big news.
Major news. Major news. I think, everyone thinks of Australia and they think of Sam Kerr. She's somewhat carries the team at times, so major blow to them.
Yeah, it really is, Alan. And even just from the psychological point of view, for the back five that we like, knowing that she's not there and not having it to worry about her will give them a huge boost.
Yeah, absolutely, Marie. And even your mood in the last half an hour, you've got even more excited than what you were earlier on. And obviously it's great scenes up here in Templeogue. They've gone to so much effort, so much work, loads of family, kids around, lots of colour, and everybody's so excited for this occasion. And then the news broke, Marie. Obviously if we weren't as excited pre-match, the news breaks with Sam Kerr. As you see, you don't like to hear of any injuries to any player, but she's their main player. All the talk coming into the tournament was the fact that we're going to have to watch Sam Kerr. Her goal record is phenomenal. 1 in 2 games. I think she scored 63 goals for Australia. We see her at Chelsea week in, week out as well. So that's a huge boost to the girls, and hopefully now, obviously the time is now to have to deliver, Marie.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, the Ireland team has been named, Rebecca, and it's an unchanged team. I think we were expecting that. Vera is very clear that the team she was playing against, France, was going to be the one that she was going to put her trust in this game. They'll have spent the last few weeks working together. They'll have known themselves really probably who was going to be in that starting 11, where they're all familiar to us now. Do you think they're going to be able to deliver?
I'm going to be hopeful. Yeah, look, I think they're fine-tuned, or they finely tuned themselves in the last week or so. She looks to play that low block, make the midfield as compact as possible, and hopefully get some joy down the wings with the likes of McCabe and Payne. So look, the main kind of thing for us is just staying together, keeping our discipline and hoping for that break up top.
Alan, talk us through the team.
Yeah, so the Irish team is the same as Rebecca was saying there. We kind of got a feel that it would be, because after the France game and even going into the France game, Vera was more or less saying this is the team that she's hoping to start. So no changes there. Obviously the goalkeeper stays the same, Courtney Brosnan. The back three, Megan Connolly has dropped back into that back three alongside Louise Quinn and Niamh Fahey. For me, I'd be kind of a bit uncertain about that. I like to see Megan in the midfield area where she's played predominantly throughout the campaign. The wing backs will be Katie McCabe. Again, I have a question mark over that. And the only reason, Marie, is because and I'm sure we're going to get into it, but the fact that Katie's our main player and you want her higher up the pitch in an area where she can cause problems, but she's playing wing back starting off today. Heather Payne on the right hand side, she drops back from, people would be kind of used to seeing Heather playing that central role, but in the midfield area I think it's going to be a box formation that we've kind of changed to, so 2 sitting players with Ruicha Littlejohn and Denise O'Sullivan, and ahead of them is the 2 new inclusions, obviously Marisa Sheva and Sinead Farley, and up top is Kyra Carusa. I do have a couple of reservations, as I say, about the personnel within that 11, but that's the team that Vera's gone for, and hopefully, as I say, they deliver.
Yeah, it's going to be huge for them. And even Rebecca, walking out in front of 82,000 people, the host nation, it's going to be predominantly Australian fans. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Irish who'll have snuck in as well. It's a huge moment for Australia to have sold out that stadium, to be breaking records. They've sold more jerseys than the men did at the Qatar World Cup. But for that Ireland team, how much pressure are they going to be under in that atmosphere?
Yeah, look, it's a momentous occasion for both sides. You know, obviously it's Ireland's first major tournament, and Australia are hosting, you know, the home nation there. And look, I think we might see a little bit more green than people might expect. But look, I think it's a case that Vera are probably drilling into them that there's no pressure on them. You know, the pressure's off them now. They've made the tournament. You know, go out and enjoy it. Although, look, 82,500, I think anyone would feel pressure no matter what. But look, let's just hope that the nerves don't get the better of them. You know, I think we showed a little bit of a nervy side to us, obviously, in the France game. I hope that was just a case of it's a farewell, and looking to get on that plane, a bit of edginess. But yeah, look, I hope it doesn't take over.
I think on that one as well, Marie, already we've seen the opening match for New Zealand, and they come into the game. Obviously, you could associate the same thing with them as Australia as being host, being under pressure. But the difference for them was that they're major underdogs going in, so nobody had that expectation that they were going to deliver. So they were probably on a shot to nothing really, and they obviously got the result. Whereas with Australia, if you flip that over, all the expectation is on them, all the pressure is on them. Everybody expects them to beat Ireland. They expect themselves to beat Ireland. So that's serious stuff to be dealing with. You know, for the first time that it's obviously been held in the southern hemisphere as well. So I actually think that could play into our hands and that could help us, and I think those are the little things that we have to use to our advantage, that all the pressure is on them, nobody's expecting anything from us, and hopefully that can, as I say, can help us throughout the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of experience and maturity on that team as well. They mightn't have played in front of 82,000 people or been at a major tournament, but when you look at the level that the likes of Denise O'Sullivan has played at, you know, even Louise Quinn, Niamh Fahey, they've been around for such a long time that they'll be able to deal with this. And I think that the significance of the occasion, that it will actually be something that they're going to embrace because they've had to go through so much to get here. Let's talk about Mary Fowler. So Mary Fowler is she's Irish. Can we say she's Irish? There's a lot of Irish in her. Yeah.
We claim her.
She's going to be a key player for Australia today. She's been over here. Her dad is Irish, and there's pictures of her going around on social media having played with Home Farm. So there was probably a chance that she might have played for Ireland, but obviously she didn't. She is playing for Australia today and could prove to be a threat, Rebecca.
Yeah, I think she's going to slot right in there for Sam Kerr. You know, she's quite young, she's quick, she's a good eye for goal as well. You know, we've seen that in their last game against France. You know, she just made that run from deep after coming on as a substitution and finished it well. And it's funny you say that, she actually nearly signed for Shells as well, would you believe? Trained with us back in, I think it was 2015, 2016, and you know, even at that age, you know, she was still, I think she was about 15, 16. Actually, she was very, very young. But fantastic player, you know, and definitely going to be one to watch. And you know, I think that the back line of Ireland will have their work cut out for them today.
Absolutely. Okay, let's hear from the Irish camp now. In a moment, Courtney Brosnan, but first, Megan Connolly.
The FIFA Women's World Cup 2023.
Live on RTE2 FM.
Your journey to the Olympic Stadium. I was there when Sonia O'Sullivan won silver 23 years ago. So the stadium has a good Irish and a good Cork connection. Time to make more history, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as I said, this game has been building up for so long now, and I think we're ready to just go and kind of show ourselves on the biggest stage. It's a dream for everyone to be in that position, and I think now we're there. It's just a game of football, 11v11, and we just have to go out and embrace the atmosphere. It's going to be one of the most amazing atmospheres we've ever been in, with everyone's family there and halfway across the world playing on the biggest stage. But at the end of the day, it's 11v11, and we're going to go out there and try to do everyone proud. Because
we look back at history games like the Irish men's team playing at the Giant Stadium against Italy. It's a big game. It's as big a game as that. And the Irish seem to somehow take over, and it was a big boost. That was the Ray Houghton day. That was, the stadium wasn't all Italians. It was mainly Irish. We're looking for that again.
Hopefully, yeah. Obviously, the demand for the tickets was so big that they moved it to this stadium, and you can feel the support from home. And obviously, there's reports of over 4,000 Irish people travelling over to come support us. Obviously it's 82,000 sold out, so I think hopefully it's going to be a sea of green when we look around the place, but I know they'll be loud, and for us we're just going to embrace it all.
Yeah, I think we know it's going to be a massive challenge. I think you can see, we knew the quality when we played them 2 years ago, and I think, as you said, you can see how they've progressed and grown as a team, and just the quality they have now is unbelievable. So I think we know it's going to be a really difficult game, and I think we want to do everything we can to put our best foot forward and put ourselves in the best position to get a result, and obviously play a good game against them and make the country proud.
Megan Connolly and Courtney Brosnan there. Alan, we're big fans of Courtney Brosnan now, and for good reason too. There was a time when there was a few question marks about her performance, but she's worked so hard on her game, and listening to her there, she got as well the FAI Women's Player of the Year for 2022. She wanted to be a big part of this journey, and she put the work in and deserves that number 1 jersey, and just I feel she's grown so much over the last couple of years.
Yeah, 100%. She's a prime example for any young kid tuning in or listening in terms of her dedication, professionalism, resilience as well to deal with setbacks and obviously bounce back in the right way, Marie. And as you say, there was a question mark around the goalkeeping position if you go back a couple of years ago, but she made it her own when she got the opportunity. She's grown in stature as she has become the main number 1. She's had a good season at Everton as well. She's just been named the Player of the Year for the women's team as well. So I think it's huge kind of confidence for her coming into the tournament as well, and a huge credit to her in terms of obviously building, and we're going to be reliant on her. There's no two ways about it. Obviously we're in a difficult group. There's going to come times where we're going to be under serious pressure, and you're going to have to bank on your keeper coming up with big saves and big moments. So far she's done that in the campaign to get us there. If you remember back to the penalty save as well, everybody talks about Amber's goal, but not many people mentioned the penalty save in Hampden Park, and that was huge, Marie. So as I say, she's going to be called on throughout the games in the group, but I think she can stand up to that task, no problem.
She has an experienced defence in front of her as well, but she leads that defence. You can see her, she's very vocal. She knows exactly where she wants that back five to be at all times. There was a time when there might have been a little bit of sloppiness there, but that seems to have gone out of her game as well. Yeah, she seems to have tweaked those little kind of, lows in her performances over the years, and I think we kind of, struggled to find that number 1 keeper after Emma Byrne retired, and, she just is that demanding force now. She commands the box, and look, she stood up to the plate, and I hope she does it today again, and look, I've every faith in her to do so. Yeah, she's been, for me anyway, one of the highlights of the last number of years, just seeing her embrace the responsibility and the want and desire in her to get there and to play her part. So hopefully it goes well for her today. Alan, it's the age-old question when it comes to Ireland football. Well, since Robbie Keane has gone anyway, where are Ireland's goals going to come from? Yeah, that is the big question, Marie, because we all know they're sound defensively. Obviously, you're speaking about Courtney there. They've only conceded 4 goals in the campaign. The way Vera approaches the game and her setup is quite defensive. More pragmatic is probably the word, and obviously that's the platform that we tried to build from. But that's the hardest thing in football, is obviously to create chances and score goals, Marie, and that's why people find it so difficult. And you say we're always coming up with who's going to be the person that's going to deliver that for us. Heather Payne predominantly played in that role throughout the campaign. She drops back to a wing back, but Heather was never really a prolific centre forward. She used to do a lot of work in terms of just occupying defenders and running in behind. They've changed the formation slightly now, in the sense that Kyra Carusa has come in as that kind of lone striker, but what she's different to Heather, it's not so much that she'll offer the tread in behind. She likes to hold the ball up and bring others into the game, and you've 2 behind in terms of Sinead Farley and Marisa Sheva, who you're hoping that Carusa can hold the ball up, bring those 2 into the game, and get Katie advanced and Heather Payne advanced in those wing backs as well, and try and create chances from there. The reservations I mentioned earlier on, Marie, would be that I would prefer Denise in one of those more advanced roles, which would mean playing maybe Diane Caldwell or a normal centre half
and put Megan into that midfield area where we're used to seeing her, Megan Connolly, and that would free up Denise. But that's the team that Vera has gone for. Hopefully it can deliver, as we say, but she is quite pragmatic. That's okay against the likes of Australia, because we are going to be penned in for large spells, and you're hoping that the defence will obviously stand up to the challenges. But going forward in the tournament, there is going to come a time where we're going to have to maybe win a match or try and score a couple of goals, and that's the challenge for them, and how to transfer to do that.
Rebecca, one of the positives I found from the France game was that link-up play between Kira Carusa and Marissa Shiva. I felt that we hadn't really seen that kind of the direct running, Carusa bringing players into the game, and although we didn't have as many cutting edge chances as you would like, it did feel like that there was a development in our play. And if Vera and the team have been working on that over the last number of weeks since they've been together, that maybe today might be the day that'll come together.
Yeah, I know in the first 35 minutes of that France game, I was looking, going, geez, we could nick something here. I think Carusa played it really well. She was quite strong on the ball. She was looking to make those runs off the ball with Shiva in behind her, and Shiva will just run all day. I think was watching towards the 88th minute in the France game. Shiva was still running and still chasing. And that's the kind of combination we need there. Carusa will hold that ball up, look to bring the likes of Denise in to be that playmaker, and obviously get her wing backs hopefully in behind. That's me being hopeful, I suppose. Goals, as we said, has been our weakness. So look, I'm just hoping for a case of just fend them off for the first little bit, and look, hopefully we'll get a goal or two.
Well, the game hasn't started yet, so we can have all the hope that we want.
Yeah, and I think one of our main threats is set pieces. Now obviously we're missing out, of course. Everybody speaks about Megan's throw-in, but in terms of set pieces alone from direct free kicks, obviously we're quite a tall team. The centre halves, Louise coming up, is very dangerous in the opposing box as well. So that's an area as well, Marie, that obviously we're strong from, and it could fall down. It could come down to a set piece, a corner kick, whatever the case may be if the game is tight. However way the goals come, we don't care, Marie.
Absolutely.
Megan Connolly's deliveries of the ball are fantastic as well, and you have the likes of Louise in there. Fahy can get a goal, and
all our defenders can get goals.
Exactly.
Okay, look, it's been an interesting build-up for Australia as well. Huge amount of pressure and expectation on them. We've seen Sam Kerr talking to the media beforehand. They had their Cathy Freeman moment where she came in and they talked about how she inspired them. They've definitely inspired the generation over there. You can just see the amount of hype that's coming from it. But it's been interesting listening to their manager, Tony Gavston, about the different ways they've been approaching this and how confident they are. Let's hear from him.
Not only do we know the starting 11, we also know the thoughts we have in terms of game changes and plan for a finishing 11. We have an idea what we think this game is going to look like. If you look at the games that Ireland have played as of late against top team, there's no coincidence that they have been really, really strong in the beginning of both the first and second half. But there's also no coincidence that have conceded goals late in the halves, especially when it comes to some of the tactics on one or two players and one or two behaviours that we have identified that we hope we can strike against tomorrow. I'm not going to say what, but there's a clear trend there that we target. And then in terms of the roster, it's all about 90 minutes. So again, I just want to say how important it is for this team to win games off the bench like we did against France when it was 0-0 and players comes off the bench and be game changer for us. So the finishing 11 is as important as the starting 11 for us.
Alan, he's been so confident during the week about knowing everything that's going to happen. He knows he's starting 11, he's finishing 11, all the substitutions he's going to make, nearly at whatever time he was going to make them at. But you can't plan for no Sam Kerr.
No, he seems to know everything, doesn't he? He must be some manager, but he has huge experience, to be fair. He was the assistant manager for the USA in the last two times they've won the World Cup, obviously. So he does have huge experience, but he's clearly trying to identify the fact that he thinks there's weaknesses in the Ireland team. And that's fine. Every manager will tell you, no matter who they're playing against, that we can spot a weakness, and that's what he's trying to exploit. But hopefully that's not the case today, Marie. They're an arrogant kind of country by nature. I've dealt with a few Australians over the years, and they are
confident, overly confident.
I would say they're arrogant, to be honest with you. I do think.
I don't think we can say that now, Al.
No.
The general.
Yeah,
it's a personal view.
Yeah.
But they just and the thing about it is, in terms of, I suppose, the pressure that's on them, they are confident in terms of what they can deliver, and that's fine, Marie, but that brings huge pressure, and a huge 80,000 people is going to be difficult, obviously, for them to deal with that situation. And that's kind of the early stages of the game. That's the most important thing. I'm kind of looking to see how they're coping with it as their nerves on their part, and that maybe allow us to get a foothold into the game while they're only trying to settle into the game.
I think that piles the pressure on them slightly though as well. You know, we know everything. We can, you know, figure out these weaknesses as well.
So if it's not going as well as he thinks it's,
What's he do?
Yeah, and what alternative plans does he have? I'm seeing the teams in the tunnel. They're getting ready to walk out onto that pitch now in front of the crowd. I can only imagine what they're feeling like, the nerves, the excitement. For these girls and these women, this is dream come true stuff. I don't think we can overstate the significance of this moment and the amount of work that people have put in, the amount of sacrifices that people have put in to ensure that they got there. And it'll be over to them very shortly. The excitement is really building here around Temple Oak United. There's kids playing football. They've got their spots. They're wearing wigs, face paints.
People coming in with their own chairs, Marie. I love it.
Absolutely. I think they'll be here for the day. Okay, we're going to take a very quick break, but do stay with us. We'll have more build up to come and that exciting first half.
The FIFA Women's World Cup 2023.
Live on RTE 2FM.
Denise, Ireland's first appearance at a World Cup finals. It's been a long build-up, a long time coming. How does it feel?
Absolutely amazing. I can't even put it into words. To finally be here, it's been a long journey for myself, the girls, all the medical staff, everyone in the background. But yeah, we want to do the country proud today. We know how excited they are back there, so we're going to go out, we're going to give it everything and hopefully come off with a good result.
You mentioned the medical staff, and you did have that injury that forced you to hospital, and you had a crutch and a protective boot. How is all that now?
All good. I'm just focused on the game tonight and 100% fit, ready to go, raring to go. As I said, I'm extremely proud to play for this country. I'll do everything I can to put in a good performance tonight and make everyone proud.
You talked about the crowd at home, but what about the crowd in the stadium? It's sold out. From what we're hearing and seeing around Sydney, there's going to be a lot of Irish in the stadium.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to see. I've been seeing videos of the green shirts all day, all over the place, and seeing people out and about. So we've fans all over the world, and best fans in the world for us. And yeah, they're going to be loud and proud here tonight, and we're excited for that.
Best of luck to you.
Welcome back to 2FM, to a very special programme as we build up to Ireland's first appearance at a Women's World Cup. In just over 5 minutes, they are going to take on Australia, and we couldn't be any more excited about it. We are coming live from the Roadcaster in Temple Oak United, surrounded by fans of this Ireland team, and just as I'm speaking, the Ireland women's team are walking out through the tunnel onto the pitch in Sydney in front of 82,000 people. Katie McCabe looks in the zone. She is fully focused on the task in hand. Courtney Brosnan follows her, and it is an amazing scene, seeing the excitement, the build-up, the ball being picked up, and history about to be made. Alan Cawley and Rebecca Cray are with me. Alan, this is one of those pinch me moments.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Look at those scenes, Marie. And for the girls, I just seen, even as they're walking out, Marissa Sheva was the last one out, and there was a big deep breath from her just as she left the tunnel. What a moment for them. Historical moment for the nation as well. And as I say, I've said it all along in the build up, I just hope everybody gets behind them. I sense there's a real hype and expectation and excitement around the country, and it's absolutely fabulous for these girls, pioneers in what they're doing. And it's an incredible moment. I could only imagine what they're feeling right now.
Rebecca, I said to Jennifer Zamparelli a little bit earlier that I've been waiting my whole life for this moment, and there are so many people like me, like you, who grew up playing football, grew up dreaming that one time Ireland would get there. What does it mean to somebody like you, Rebecca, who's worn that green jersey?
Yeah, you'll have me in tears soon, Marie. Yeah, look, it's amazing, and obviously being here at Temple Oak, where I started my female journey, Katie started her female journey in football here. It's fantastic, and look, I'm watching those girls there, and I'm actually genuinely nearly close to tears. I know you are too.
Okay, let's hear the Irish national anthem.
Wonderful size Stadium Australia, 75,000 packed in, and a huge, and I mean huge, contingent of Irish supporters here, dotted right around the ground. By hook or by crook, they've managed to get their hands on those valuable tickets. Right now though, here at Stadium Australia, it's Advance Australia Fair.
Absolutely amazing scenes there, and I cannot wait for it to get going. Rebecca, it'll be underway very shortly. What's your prediction?
I'm going to go with a very hopeful 1-0 Ireland.
Well, really? Since we did spend a few minutes talking about who's going to get the goals, who's going to get our goal then, Rebecca?
Louise Quinn.
Oh, from a second. Alan, for you, how do you think it's going to unfold?
Yeah, I'm really interested just to see the opening kind of passages of play in the first 50 minutes, just to see how Australia settle more than anything else. There's obviously going to be nerves on both sets of players. Such a huge occasion, such a momentous moment as well for them. But in the build-up, I was kind of a bit worried about this fixture. The closer it's got to the game, Marie, I'm a little bit more confident, and I think they're fully capable of pulling out a result here. Obviously, as I mentioned, their strengths are in those defensive areas in terms of how well set up we are, and playing in that low block, it'll be difficult for Australia to break us down, especially without Sam Kerr as well, which is a big plus to us. So I'm quietly confident that we could get a draw here.
Yeah, and I saw Sam Kerr there on the screen. You could see how emotional she was, and it is a very difficult day for her not to be on that pitch as Australia make history themselves. Rebecca, just watching the team there now. Katie McCabe, a girl who played girls football for the first time here in Templeogue United. You know her so well. She's a really good friend of yours. What does it mean to her?
Yeah, it means everything. I know that. I sent her a bit of an essay of a message there about 2 days ago, knowing that I actually told her not to reply to me. And I woke up to a message then this morning just saying, love you to bits, Bex. You know, so look, Katie wears her heart on her sleeve. And I know, being captain of this country is the biggest pride of all. She's going to go out there with her family, in her head, her friends, and the whole country, and look, she's just there to and she's over the last few years to promote women's football, and she's changed the game here, as has the rest of that squad. So yeah, look, this means everything, and I know she'll be going out there, giving her full heart.
I love that clip of her when she's asked, is this going to change your life? And she said, this was after they qualified, she said it is going to change women's football in this country, and Alan, it's done that. Yeah,
absolutely. Look at the amount of kids here, and I suppose what they are for everybody is role models now, in terms of people can actually see that this could be an achievement that they can obviously fulfil themselves. Young kids growing up, they're so likeable, the group as well. Everybody wants to see them do well, Marie, and it's been a kind of problematic build-up, if you like, in terms of stuff off the pitch, but now the football is here, and let's just get on with the football, and hopefully, as I say, the girls can deliver, because that's the one thing that I'm slightly worried about, is that I just hope the experience doesn't pass them by, that they embrace the challenge, they know that they're up against it, but give a really good account of themselves, and I think then results will follow.
Yeah, I was looking at Katie there, and she does look very relaxed, Alan. Yeah. And if she's a reflection of her team, then that's probably the best way to go into it.
100%, yeah, you have to embrace the challenge and not let it get on top of you. As you say, looking at Katie there, they look very focused and determined, Marie, and that's what you want. They know how big a moment it is, they know what this means to the country, but most of all to themselves. They're playing for themselves and their family as well, and they've waited so long for this, they've worked so hard to get there, and yeah, the talking is over now, Marie. Let's just get on with the football.
It's hard to believe it's here, Rebecca, that is about to kick off.
It's crazy. I remember October last year, we were sitting in the studio going, Jane, I can't wait for that, and it's unbelievable how fast it's come through, and as Alan said, look, there's been a lot of kind of outside noise, and I'm just grateful that we're kicking off and down to business.
Yeah, and the country has really embraced this team as well.
Completely, yeah, in the last few weeks especially, I was kind of worried there about a month or two ago if the hype train was going to get, away from the station, but yeah, look, in the last few weeks we've really got behind them, and you're seeing the green, white and orange all across, media, advertisements, things like that. So it's really, really great to see.
Even looking at the documentary that was on last night, Marie, and obviously we've covered the games for the last 3 or 4 years, and it felt like almost 10 years ago looking at some of the games, how far we've gone back, which are only 2 or 3 years ago, the last 2 campaigns, but it seems like a lifetime ago. Yeah. So it just goes to show even the setbacks that they suffered, that Ukrainian game that people go back to, and such a tough moment for the 2 girls involved, Courtney and Anya, and obviously to bounce back from that as well, and all they've gone through. I was in Hampden Park the night they qualified, and such an unbelievable night as well, Marie, and again that almost feels like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was only a few months ago, so they've had to wait so long to get to this moment, and that can be difficult in terms of a build-up. I was listening to Roisha Littlejohn as well, speaking that they've been together for 6 weeks now, so I'm sure the girls just feel like we just want to get the game on and get on with it now.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a journey, and one that there's been so many ups and downs, but now the time for talking is over. The moment it is upon us, and we're going to cross over to Australia once again to our big match commentary team of Claire Shine and Adrian Eames.
Thank you very much, Marie. Good evening from the city of Sydney, live from the iconic Stadium Australia. It will be the host nation, the co-host Australia, to get us underway in the first half, playing from left to right. Magnificent scene, lovely conditions, a very mild evening here as the clock just nudges past 8 o'clock local time, 11 o'clock in Ireland in the morning. So quite a disparity in terms of the time. But of course the big news before kick-off, Sam Kerr ruled out for Australia, replaced by Mary Fowler, who came off the bench last week in that friendly against France to slot home the only goal of the match. But Kerr's injury sustained in that game, she aggravated apparently in training yesterday, so she's been ruled out, and that's a huge blow. Australia have possession just on halfway. Ireland, you would expect, will be under a certain amount of pressure, but the news, Claire Shine alongside me, that Sam Kerr is not involved this evening. You don't want to see any player, certainly a player of her calibre, ruled out, but it has to be a big boost for Vera Powell.
Oh, absolutely. You know, that is a massive blow for Australia. Their captain, their leader, their goal scorer is just, you know, phenomenal for the Irish team, you know, and hopefully we can really capitalise on that.
Well, she certainly looked very distraught before kick-off. The teams were out warming up about an hour before the appointed kick-off, and Sam Kerr was watching on, encouraging her teammates, but looked obviously devastated to be missing out, and it looks like she'll also miss their next game as well, so that's a real body blow. Very important for Ireland, of course, to settle in. Australia have dominated possession so far, but it's been a rather stop-start game so far. Just a minute played at this wonderful venue. Loads of Irish supporters have been right around Sydney right throughout the week, and a vast contingent below our commentary position. I've seen a Donegal flag and lots of green dotted around, not quite on the same level as Giant Stadium all those years ago, but they're here, Claire Shine, they're here in force, and they're going to make themselves heard.
Yes, they are. Before the national anthem, they just had a massive chant, ole, ole, ole. It was, you know, goosebumps I got. It's just incredible to see all the Irish supporters over here, you know, thousands and thousands of miles away. We come in numbers and we're loud, and yeah, it's just going to be incredible.
Well, Ireland trying to make inroads down that right hand side. Heather Payne getting involved. The ball breaks in the centre circle, but Australia have managed to win it back. But the referee, who is Brazilian, Edina Alves, all Brazilian officials here in Sydney this evening, has sounded her whistle, and it'll be a free kick to Ireland to be taken by Niamh Fahey. And I guess as well, Claire, as much as anything, it's about managing the occasion, because playing in front of 75,000, I know there were various reports in terms of the attendance that would be here tonight. It varied from 83,500 to 82, 81, but 75,000 is the capacity for this game as deemed by FIFA as Ireland play it forward. But it's about managing the occasion and dealing with any nerves for the Irish players, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. You know, the national anthems are over with. The first ball has been played. You know, it's just about getting into the game and you know, doing their best. I think in times like this, you need to show your character, you need to get into the game, you need to start passing the ball. But I think in games like this, when you're not really going to have much possession, it's just about staying compact and, you know, using the ball as well as we can when we have it.
Well, Claire Hunt, who only made her debut for Australia earlier this year, winning her 7th international cap, plays it square to Alana Kennedy, who hasn't seen too much game time this year, just recovering from injury, but she did well against France last week, so she's in as a starter this evening. Australia now threatening. The ball is fed out wide to the left hand side, and Courtney Vine trying to deliver the cross. It's just blocked away by Ireland, but Australia, but certainly every time they press forward like that and expose Ireland, well, the crowd really get behind them, but well defended by Ireland as Courtney Vine tried to deliver the cross. It's a throw-in to be taken by Steph Catley. Of course, the two captains this evening from Arsenal, from the Arsenal Football Club, with Katie McCabe captaining Ireland, and in the absence of Sam Kerr, Australia being captained by Steph Catley, her 111th cap for the Matildas. As again, Australia go long, and it has to be tidied up in the nick of time by Niamh Fahey, and that's superb defending, but they've clearly focused down that left hand side, Ireland's right, and Courtney Vine almost in again, threatening Ireland. And clearly from the Australian viewpoint, Tony Gustafsson, their rather suave Swede coach, he's targeted that area of the pitch early on here to try and test out Ireland, as Australia win the first corner kick of the evening. So it's been a solid start from the home side as they try to press forward. Denise O'Sullivan back defending, and it'll be a corner kick for Australia on the far side of the pitch. Huge crowd in here. They're making quite an atmosphere, it has to be said, but a set piece here, and possibly an early tester for Courtney Brosnan, who's been magnificent, of course, for Ireland right throughout the qualifying campaign, and of course won FEI Player of the Year. So Australia set up inside the Irish penalty area, and the corner about to be delivered, and it's towards the near post, and Ireland managed to work it clear. Denise O'Sullivan trying to get on the end of it. The ball just wriggles free, and Mary Fowler gets a toe to it. Now can Ireland profit and break quickly? And the ball just wriggles out of play on this near side, despite the best attempts of Heather Payne to keep it alive for the Republic of Ireland. Ireland, by the way, wearing green jerseys this evening, white shorts and green socks. Australia in their traditional yellow jerseys with green trimmings, and also green shorts and white socks. Pretty much their traditional garb, as they say. Katie McCabe about to take the throw-in, but not from the correct spot, so the referee from Brazil has ordered to just drop back 10 metres or so before taking the throw-in. Ireland, you'd expect, will play a percentage game. They will have to be defensively very solid and try and hit Australia in the break. You have to imagine that Australia will have a lot of the ball. Even without Sam Kerr, they're a real quality side. They've never progressed past the quarterfinals of the Women's World Cup, but of course they're pretty much mainstays when it comes to participating in every World Cup tournament. Only once did they not participate, and they've been involved in the last eight World Cup tournaments. So they've great pedigree when it comes to this particular competition. Mary Fowler trying to get on the end of it. What a story that is. Mary Fowler, who a few years ago, as Maureen was mentioning, played for Home Farm, and indeed her brother Caoimhín and her sister Ciara were capped at youth level for the Republic of Ireland, and she was very close to declaring for the Republic of Ireland. Her dad hails from Ballymun, Kevin, and there's a great shot after the match a couple of years ago. The match played at Tallaght Stadium, where she warmly embraced her grandfather, also called Kevin. Lovely touching moment. Of course, she scored 2 goals in that game, but Australia were beaten by 3-2 as the ball runs out of play at the Australian end, and it'll be a goal kick for the home side to be taken by Mackenzie Arnold. So early stages of this one, 7 minutes gone. I think Vera Powell will be happy enough just to have seen her team just settle into this contest, because it is a very nervy occasion. Ball played forward, looking for Hayley Raso. Australia possessing so much pace on the flanks, with Courtney Vine down the left hand side and Hayley Raso on the right, and of course Ellie Carpenter getting forward from that right back position. Australia very much set up in a 4-4-2 manner. That tends to be the approach of Tony Gustafsson.
Yeah, and you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the ball down, they're trying to get it played, they're trying to get Ireland out of position as quickly as possible. You know, that's what Ireland's strengths are. We're compact, we're in position all the time, we know what we want to do, and that's what Australia are trying to do. They're trying to pull us out of position quick and early, but we're doing really well too.
Well, here goes Ellie Carpenter down the right hand side, delivers the cross, stabbed away by Louise Quinn. And once again, the crowd are really getting behind Australia. Ireland haven't managed to work it clear. Played forward by Hayley Raso, but that will run through to the Irish goalkeeper, Courtney Brosnan. And again, that pace down the flanks from Australia, threatening to open up Ireland. But they managed to see it out and close down that particular avenue of approach made by Australia. And it's Courtney Brosnan, all in purple this evening, who bounces the ball a couple of times. But Hayley Raso, who's nicknamed Ribbons, and she's got a yellow ribbon in her hair this evening, and has written a book in aid of charity all about Ribbons the character. As Sinead Farley feeds it out to Ireland's right hand side, Heather Payne, and Farley once again. Now Denise O'Sullivan, great to see her in action this evening. All that concern after that behind closed doors friendly inverted commas with Colombia last week and that shin injury, but Vera Powell happy to declare Denise O'Sullivan fully fit for the Republic of Ireland this evening, and she is such a big player.
She's huge. She's the backbone of our team. You know, I said it a number of weeks ago as well. She dictates everything that happens in this team, and when that happened, that injury scare, I think the whole of Ireland was very worried, but it's just unbelievable to see her out here, and hopefully she'll be able to show what she's about in the world stage, because she deserves it.
Alana Kennedy slides it forward for Australia, but it's rather heavy, but it might just work out for Australia, as Mary Fowler almost seized upon it, but Ireland superbly win it back. Marisa Shiva getting involved, and now Ireland just trying to bring some measure of control to the match. It's worked back by Ruesha Littlejohn to Louise Quinn, and now to Ireland's right hand side to Niamh Fahey, and all the way back to Brosnan, who's just outside her own penalty area, and very confidently stroked out to Niamh Fahey, and the Galway woman just shy of halfway. Ireland's right hand side pings it forward. and just too much on it, and it just eludes Ciara Carusa, just a fraction too high, and it runs through to Mackenzie Arnold, who plays her club football in the WSL with West Ham United, made her debut back in 2012, and she feeds it forward. And now Katrina Gorry gets on it for the Australians. Out to the right hand side to Ellie Carpenter, is looking very lively, slides it down the line, looking for a Caitlin Ford in the inside right channel, but just too much on it, and it goes behind for an Ireland goal kick. 11th minute at Stadium Australia. Australia 0, Republic of Ireland 0, and so far so good for Ireland.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we could be better on the ball. I think, we need to bring Ciara Carusa into it. She was phenomenal against France when she was holding up the ball and bringing other players into it, and we just haven't seen that so far. Ireland are just finding it difficult to get up the pitch, but hopefully now in the next couple of minutes we can settle into it.
A really firm challenge coming in from Marisha Littlejohn as Ellie Carpenter tried to advance forward for the Australians. Superb block to knock the ball out of play, and Carpenter takes the throw in. Ellie Carpenter was a real concern after picking up an ACL injury in last year's Champions League final whilst playing for Lyon against Barcelona. She went off early in the Champions League final with that injury, so it's been a long road back for her. Ellie Carpenter, one of the other stars apart from Sam Kerr of this Australian team. As the ball is at work square now, and Alana Kennedy getting on it, feeding it out to Catley on that left hand side. Courtney Vine also getting involved. All a bit tight from Australia, but they've managed to work it out to Carpenter on Ireland's left hand side, delivers the cross much too deep, and it's claimed by Courtney Brosnan, and very confident goalkeeping from Courtney Brosnan, as you'd expect. A clean catch from the Ireland number 1, who's got 10 clean sheets under her name in 23 previous internationals, so she'll be hoping to add to that tonight. Ireland drawing 0-0 at the moment. Early exchanges here at Stadium Australia. There really is a perfect night for football. There's barely a hint of a breeze as Brosnan delivers the kick out long, but Australia have it back, and they will dictate once again from deep inside their own half. To Ellie Carpenter on the right hand side. Carpenter feeds the ball into a central midfield position once again to Alana Kennedy of Manchester City. And now it's Cooney Cross. Cooney Cross inside the Irish half up to Mary Fowler. Fowler just slides it back to Gorry, and Gorry fizzes the ball out to Australia's right hand side. But again, not for the first time in the match, they've rather overcooked the pass, and despite the best attempts of Hayley Rasso, the ball drifts out of play, and Ireland will have possession of the football once again.
And this is what they're going to be trying to do, and they're going to try and frustrate them. Australia are going to have to be patient against Ireland because they're not going to be able to break them down easily, and you can just see over the last couple of minutes that they're just trying to force things, and if Ireland can keep this up and keep compact and keep frustrating them, then the longer we do this, the longer we'll stay in the game.
And you can faintly hear, I would imagine, the cries of ole 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 around Stadium of Australia as Katie McCabe gets on it inside the centre circle for Ireland, goes bombing on, support out to her right hand side from Sinead Farley, drifts inside. Now Katie McCabe advancing from that left wing back position into a more central position in midfield as Ireland tried to take the game to Australia, just slowing it down. Now Megan Connolly sweeps it out to Ireland's right hand side to Niamh Fahy, who's got Heather Payne in support, just prods the ball forward, but Ireland unable to retain control of the ball. Carusa gets onto it, and the ball is worked back. Sinead Farley involved once again. Heather Payne is there for Ireland, forced away from goal halfway inside the Australian half. Denise O'Sullivan does a full 360 and just rolls it off to Payne on the far side. Back to Denise O'Sullivan, who strokes it back towards halfway, and Niamh Fahy. And this is good from Ireland, just getting a feel of the ball at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we need. We needed to slow it down. Australia are putting a lot of pressure on us, and this is a good period from Ireland. If we can just maintain the ball for a little bit longer and try and get it into good areas.
Australia were looking for a free kick, Tony Gustafsson. Meanwhile, Hayley Rasso has upended Katie McCabe, and Katie McCabe rather disbelievingly looks in the direction of the referee, who's going to take no further action against Hayley Rasso for that challenge. Well, Ribbons really going after Katie McCabe there, but it'll be a free kick for Ireland about 20 metres inside the Australian half, Ireland's left hand side, about a metre in from the touchline, And this will be one for Megan Connolly to deliver. And the Irish will press bodies inside the area here. Louise Quinn and Nia Fahy joining the attack here. So an Irish set piece, and we know that this is a possible route to goal for the Republic.
Yes, it is. This is where we're dangerous. This is the positions that we want to be in. Megan Connolly and Katie McCabe over the ball. For Australians, that's not a sight that they want to see. We've Louise Quinn inside there. That she's going to be our main target, and hopefully something can come from this.
So Megan Connolly with the right, or perhaps Katie McCabe with the left. Katie gives the signal. A line of players on the edge of the area. It's McCabe. It's rather flat, but it's helped on its way inside the area. Australia just scrambling to try and get the ball away. It breaks on the edge of the area. Ireland temporarily had possession. Now it's Australia trying to break quickly through Caitlin Ford, but the ball just breaks out of play, and it'll be a throw in for Australia. They try to take it quickly. Hayley Raso, though, in the end just elects to give it back to Ellie Carpenter to take, and now Australia just slowing it down once again. The ball played square by Claire Hunt off to Alana Kennedy, out to Kate Lee on Australia's left hand side. Courtney Vine will offer a viable threat down that left flank for Australia all night long. Really, Ireland defensively will have to be on their toes against this very quick and sharp Australian outfit, as Gorry manages to elude a challenge or two, helped on by Cooney Cross, well defended by Nia Fahy, but it breaks out on that left hand side to Vine. Courtney Vine tried to make inroads, and I'll let you take over there.
Yeah, and now it's going out for a corner kick, the second corner kick for Australia. Ireland got away with one there. They were nearly in on goal, so
yep. Well, it certainly did, as the frog in the throat decided to pay a visit at precisely the wrong moment. So a corner kick for Australia, far side of the pitch. And it's been a solid start from the Republic of Ireland, but they've got another set piece to defend here. Courtney Brosnan just bouncing on her line, touching the crossbar, getting a feel of things. Cooney Cross to deliver, and it's a deep one as well, and the header is wayward in the end, and it drifts behind for an Irish goal kick.
Yeah, it was almost slow motion there. You can just see Alana Kennedy drifting into the back post, and Megan Connolly following her. So yeah, it's gone out for a goal kick, and we can slow the game down again.
And Ireland goes short with a restart, out to Megan Connolly, closed down by Hayley Raso, and the ball rebounds out of play for a goal kick to the Republic of Ireland. Interesting that Australia decided to close down Ireland very, very smartly. I wonder what they're making of it all in Templeogue. Marie.
Well, we're enjoying it anyway. Alan and Rebecca are with me. Alan, it seems like it's quite a fast-paced game.
Yeah, it's been a good start from the Irish team. Obviously, there's a bit of cat and mouse in the early stages, but I think they've settled into the game nicely. And just prior to coming to us there in the 13th minute was the first time we put a passage of play together. Katie get involved, a few passes, winning a free kick out on this left-hand side. Didn't really come to much, but I think 17 minutes in, Vera will be happy, and I think the girls have settled into the game nicely, Marie.
Yeah, Rebecca, it was as we expected. It was going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, it was a case of just, it's nearly like a chess game, see how we all fare out, see how we can weather the storm for a little bit. And look, as Alan said, we've come into it nicely, and it's going to take the likes of Katie and Denise and a few others to step up now.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Adrian, we'll go back to you in Sydney to see how the rest of this half plays out.
Well, Caitlin Ford trying to make inroads down that left-hand side, but Ireland managed to smuggle the ball out of play, and Caitlin Ford has managed to glean a corner kick for her team. 3 Arsenal players, of course, on parade today. Catley at left back for Australia, Caitlin Ford, and obviously for the Republic of Ireland, Katie McCabe. But certainly the strong running Caitlin Ford doing really well to engineer that corner kick. So Ireland under more pressure here, and Courtney Brosnan just again bouncing on her goal line. One player taking up a position at the back post. So this set piece to be swung in once again by Katrina Gorry. And Gorry delivers towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's cleared away by Ireland. An opportunity though for Cooney Cross to perhaps send it back in. And Cooney Cross will receive it once again, and now touches the ball and defended by Australia. Well, they managed to defend that situation, and Ireland on the break. At one end it was Australia trying to threaten, and Ireland broke very, very smartly, but Ciara Carusa unable to make the most of the opportunity.
That was almost an inch perfect pass from Katie McCabe. It just bounced off away from Kyra, and she just missed it completely, but I think the defender did really well to get on her shoulder to kind of push her off. But that was a really good chance for Ireland.
Well, we know there are watch parties right around the country, so wherever you are, watching or listening, I hope you're enjoying this occasion as Ireland press forward once again. Sinead Farley, who hasn't seen too much of the ball so far, with a little layoff, but it's tidied up at the expense of an Ireland throw-in by Courtney Vine. This just the second ever meeting of Australia and the Republic of Ireland, as Ireland threaten a breakthrough as the cross is delivered into the area. But Australia managed to clear their lines. Mary Fowler back defending, will carry it forward here and feeds it out to the right hand side. Ellie Carpenter will scarp her quickly to keep the ball in play, and Carpenter rolls it back to Claire Hunt, and Hunt calmly gets control under the ball and under no great pressure whatsoever picks out Alana Kennedy, and Kennedy with plenty of time to measure it, plays it forward now to Katrina Gorry, and Gorry goes long but cut out by Louise Quinn at the other end just outside her penalty area. Ball breaks to Marissa Shiva, and Shiva manages to keep the ball in play and right-footed pings the ball into the middle, but a rather heavy touch there from Denise O'Sullivan almost afforded Australia the opportunity to get possession of the ball. The referee has whistled up play. Ireland were in possession, so that just slows things down for Ireland.
Yeah, that was a great opportunity for us to break forward. You know, Denise had the ball and the ref blows it up, but yeah, we have to start again and start to build up again.
And of course, it must be said as well, huge pressure on the co-hosts here. Australia expected to win, expected to emerge from this group. In many people's eyes, it's the toughest group of the lot, with Australia, Canada and Nigeria, along with the Republic of Ireland, making up Group B, as Ireland tried to work an opening down that right hand side, but the cross is repelled and Australia cleared their lines, and plenty of time for Ireland to get control of the ball inside their own half, with Louise Quinn, who slides it forward to Nia Fahy, and Fahy returns the compliment back with Louise Quinn halfway inside her own half, central position, and she knocks it over the top, but too much on it, and it runs through to Mackenzie Arnold. Ireland trying to get Australia turned, but unable to really force any clear-cut opening there, going long early, perhaps just to use the pace of Kira Carusa, but too much on the through ball, and Australia have it once again, and they knock it around just inside their own half. And now Cooney Cross gets on the turn off to Catley on Australia's left hand side. She lays it back into a central position. Now it's with Hunt up towards halfway, under a bit of pressure here from Kira Carusa, and forced to turn towards her own goal, but good vigilant defending by Hunt to pick out Alana Kennedy, and Kennedy now left-footed to Hayley Rasso, Australia's right-hand side, halfway inside the Irish half, but a loose pass means Ireland have it back once again, and you sense that Ireland growing in confidence, but Katie McCabe almost caught in possession, and it's set back with Megan Connolly, forced to send it back to her goalkeeper Courtney Brosnan, and the first time clearance breaks in and around the middle, all a bit loose and untidy from Ireland, and indeed from Australia. They've coughed up possession. Now Denise O'Sullivan, showing no ill effects from that shin injury, manages to get away from one challenge, and she's on it once again and drills it out to Ireland's left hand side, where Katie McCabe is waiting just inside the Australian half, just a few metres away from the Australian coach Tony Gustafsson. Ball played forward once again, and Denise O'Sullivan again on the spin, and O'Sullivan from North Carolina Courage, and of course from Knocknaheeny and Cork, to Nia Fahy on that right hand side. O'Sullivan on it once again. This is a good little spell for the Republic of Ireland, but Kira Carusa unable to make it stick, and Australia have it back with Mary Fowler inside her own half, and that's a really good turn by Mary Fowler, and she drives forward here. Fowler linking up well with Courtney Vine on that left hand side, and eventually the ball just ricochets out of play on the far side, and the last touch came off one of the Irish players, so it'll be a throw-in for Australia. So very little by way of a clear-cut opportunity for either side in the match so far. It's been quite cagey, you'd have to say. Australia certainly dominating in terms of possession, but really in truth not a lot between the two sides so far.
No, there hasn't been. I think they're quite even, to be honest. I think they're both bringing the same game plan. I think Ireland are really compact. You can see what Australia are trying to do. They're trying to drag their left and their right sided players out of the back line, so it creates that space for their wide players to, get in behind and look to play those balls. But yeah, Ireland are doing really well to capitalise that.
Well, Courtney Vine unable to keep the ball alive. It just bounces out of play, despite the best attempts of the flying winger. Courtney Vine, one of the relative newcomers to Australian football, winning her 18th cap tonight, and she's certainly managed to get amongst the goals. She has 3 in her international career so far, so it'll be a goal kick for the Republic of Ireland, to be taken by Courtney Brosnan. and it was quite noticeable as the teams came out initially just to get a feel of the pitch that Courtney Brosnan went to that goal in which she is stationed in the first half, and she just closed her eyes and she was just getting into the zone. She was concentrating. It was quite interesting to watch.
Yeah, you know, Courtney is an outstanding player. She visualised everything. She did the same with Caroline Weir's penalty. You know, she visualised that moment, and she's doing that again today. And you know, no doubt about it that these girls have dreamt about this day for a long, long time, and they were definitely dreaming about it all last night and all day today. So it was no different when they stepped out onto that pitch today.
Free kick awarded to Australia just inside their own half. Mary Fowler in place of the injured Sam Kerr. That's the big news from the Australian camp a little earlier. Alana Kennedy has it now for the Aussies, and she booms that right-footed crossfield, but Megan Connolly unable to cut it out. Hayley Rasso manages to get on the end of it, but well defended by Louise Quinn. That was a little careless from Megan Connolly. It afforded Australia the opportunity. Opportunity wasn't taken by Hayley Rasso, but that's really down to the strong work, good defensive work of Louise Quinn, who was really switched on.
Yeah, you can see the partnerships there. You know, Megan just misjudged that. It bounced up and hit her shin, and Louise was aware of it, and she was straight over to get something on it.
So Catley to take the corner kick for Australia on their right-hand side this time, and she gives the signal. Arm aloft as Gorry nearby delivers towards the near post. Was crying out for an Australian touch. In the end, it goes behind for another Australian corner kick. Courtney Vine was gambling on getting there. Catley with that in-swinger was just dropping short at the near post, but well defended by Niamh Fahey for the Republic of Ireland, who headed it behind. So another Catley corner looms, and more defending for Ireland to do here. A lot more depth on this one towards the back post, and it's headed narrowly wide. Well, that's the clearest opportunity of the match so far. Hayley Rasso with a header just off.
Yeah, you can see it there. She just lost Sinead Farrelly there off the shoulder, and they were lucky there. I know Heather Payne was on the post, she would have covered it, but yeah, we got away with one there.
Yeah, and Ireland just getting away with the restart as Mary Fowler is on to it, but battling away for the Republic of Ireland, Denise O'Sullivan. Now it's sent back by Ruisha Littlejohn to Niamh Fahey, out to Ireland's right hand side for Heather Payne. Payne trying to work it down the line, and a second attempt at it. The ball breaks in the centre of midfield to Australia, and it's played forward, but too much pace on it, and Courtney Brosnan of Everton, the New Jersey-born goalkeeper, is there to take control for Ireland. Now Katie McCabe halfway inside her own half, closed down by Ellie Carpenter. Almost felt that would be one of the jewels of the evening, with that Carpenter getting forward along with Hayley Rasso up against Katie McCabe. Marissa Shiva trying to get the ball under control, but the ball just bounces off her shin and out of play for an Australian throw-in. And just struggling at the moment to get out of their own half. Mary Fowler working it back to Katrina Gorry. And Gorry of Vichko lays it off to Claire Hunt. Hunt of Western City Wanderers, a club that Denise O'Sullivan also played for. Plus Denise has also played for Canberra here in Australia, so she's well acquainted with football in the Southern Hemisphere. Alana Kennedy of Manchester City back to Hunt at the edge of the centre circle, just inside the Australian half, and now Gorry under real pressure. She's coughed it up here. Gustafsson looking for a free kick. Great work by Ciara Carusa driving forward. She's a little isolated. Shiva joins the attack at the moment. Carusa trying to link up with Marissa Shiva, while she rather telegraphed it, and Australia managed to pinch the ball back, and the opportunity is lost for the Republic of Ireland. But if they have it back once again now with Megan Connolly on halfway. Now Katie McCabe trying to slide it through for Shiva, and Marissa Shiva now in the wide left position to deliver the cross, inviting ball in. Mackenzie Arnold at full stretch, the Australian goalkeeper, and it's eventually defended by Catley at the back post, just content to knock the ball away. Well, that was a rare drive inside Australian territory for the Republic of Ireland, and Marissa Shiva with that ball into the area, causing all sorts of concerns for Mackenzie Arnold.
Absolutely outstanding from Ciara Carusa. That's what she's good at. That's why she's in the team. She harasses, she hassles everybody that has the ball, and she won it back.
Denise O'Sullivan with the cross into the area and almost fell for Shiva, but it breaks for Katie McCabe on the edge of the area. Good spell of pressure this from the Republic of Ireland. Shiva with the cross. It's blocked away by Ellie Carpenter. Shiva once again delivers into the area. It's flicked on. Will run towards the back post. Australia looking for an offside decision, which isn't coming just yet. And eventually, well, the flag goes up and it'll be a relieving free kick to Australia. Well, that was good from the Republic of Ireland. Half an hour played. It stays at 0-0.
That was a brilliant couple of minutes from Ireland there. You know, they really got in behind them. That was magnificent, as I said, from Kyra Carusa. Could she have made a better pass? Absolutely. We need to capitalise on these moments because we're not going to get many of them.
So just 15 minutes to go to half-time. Still stalemate at Stadium Australia. Australia 0, Republic of Ireland 0. Hayley Raso goes to ground under that challenge from Katie McCabe, and a few boos ring around Stadium Australia. Some of the home support not too happy with that challenge from Ireland's captain and leader, Katie McCabe. So it'll be a free kick for the home side, about 25 metres inside the Irish half and about 10 metres in from the sideline. No complaints from Katie McCabe about the awarding of the decision, although they're having a word now at the moment in terms of the two-player wall that they're setting up here, Katie McCabe and Denise O'Sullivan. So set piece, Tony Gustafsson, the Australian manager, just having a word with his players in terms of this set piece, with Katrina Gorry and Steph Catley over the dead ball. So Catley with the left foot, you'd have to imagine here. And Gorry is there as well. And Gorry will leave it for Catley to swing it in with that left boot. Brosnan commits, comes a long way, and the ball is eventually scrambled away by the Republic of Ireland. Brosnan under pressure really from one of her own teammates there. Just couldn't quite get a hold of the ball, and it's Australia who have it deep inside their own half once again. Catley sliding it forward now, and as Australia tried to find a breakthrough goal here, Katrina Gorry under real pressure from the very hard-working Kyra Carusa. The ball just squirts out of play on this near side for a throw-in to the Republic of Ireland.
You could see Hayley Raso and Katie McCabe having a go at each other there. They both ended up on the floor, and Hayley Raso was straight over to the referee, and you know that's just the type of game that they're in at the moment.
Yeah. Hayley Raso of Manchester City, who made her debut for Australia back in 2012. And she possesses so much pace down that right flank. Shiva pods the ball back in the direction of Katie McCabe, who has to chase back near the corner flag. And Megan Connolly from Turner's Cross in Cork executes the clearance, and the knockdown from Ellie Carpenter. Shiva is onto it. And now Rushia Littlejohn gets involved, trying to link up there with Katie McCabe, and the ball goes out of play. And Vera Powell be a little unhappy with that passage of play as Ireland coughed up possession, and they've given the ball back to Australia in the shape of a throw-in. About 20 metres from the corner flag, just in line with the edge of the Irish penalty area. And Ellie Carpenter's really winding up here for a potential long throw-in. So the Matildas looking for the breakthrough. No goals so far. And the match referee, Medina Alves, going in to sort out one or two things involving Alana Kennedy and Katie McCabe inside the penalty area. So here comes the throw-in. Order has been restored. And a bit of a giggle going on between Katie McCabe and Alana Kennedy. And here comes Ellie Carpenter with the throw-in. Two-time Champions League winner with Lyon. And it's comfortably away by Ireland. Ellie Carpenter will send it back in, but it's not a very good cross from the right-hand side of Australia. And the switch could be on for Ireland if they manage to work it. Denise O'Sullivan sending it back to Megan Connolly, and O'Sullivan gets on it once again halfway inside her own half. Ireland's left, back with Megan Connolly, and Connolly with a good ball out to the right-hand side. Niafahi chasing. Niafahi leaves it for Heather Payne, and Payne from Ballinasloe, but at the Roscommon side of Ballinasloe, is content to leave the ball go out of play for an Irish throw-in on the far side, halfway inside the Irish half. Whitney Vine faces Heather Payne as she prepares to take the throw-in. I mentioned the conditions, absolutely superb, and as you'd expect, a stadium of this quality, a pitch absolutely superb. Now an opportunity for Australia, but well defended by Ireland once again as the block came in from Louise Quinn. A little bit loose and untidy from Australia, but they have possession back once again with Alana Kennedy inside the centre circle. Plenty of time for the central defender to stride forward. Feeds the ball out to that left-hand side. Courtney Vine getting involved once again. And Leafy in a bit of a pickle here as the attempt across finds the side netting in the end. Caitlin Ford unable to produce the goods there, and it ends up in the side netting. That'll be a goal kick to Courtney Brosnan and the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, Katie McCabe looks like she's winded here. Looks like she's picked up a little knock.
Well, Australia losing their key player in Sam Ford, and there's a concern here, I would imagine, amongst Vera Pauw and the Irish management team. Katie McCabe will certainly not want to go off. And Vera Pauw at the moment in consultation with her backroom team. Tom Elms is there. So Katie McCabe, we remember, of course, the France game as well, when she shipped that knock and went off, and at the time it was viewed as a precautionary. And it was a coming together with Ellie Carpenter as McCabe made an attempted clearance. So she may have aggravated that injury, and this is a real concern for the Republic of Ireland here, Claire.
Yeah, it is. It looks like she went in and landed straight down onto her elbow. That's not a sight that we want to see. Katie McCabe is the type of player that we need to have on the pitch at all times. She's a leader, she's our captain. This isn't something that we had on the cards.
Well, whilst she's receiving treatment, the players have all come over to this near side of the pitch, and Vera Pauw is having words and just getting some messages across to the players. Likewise, the Australians are also around Tony Gustafsson, their manager. We've played almost 37 minutes of the match, but real concern for the Republic of Ireland at the moment over the welfare of Katie McCabe. They will not want to make a change, and they certainly will not want to lose their spiritual leader in Katie McCabe before half time here. I think she'll be okay to continue up. Well, we're hopeful, aren't we, Claire?
Yeah, we are. She's back on her feet and she's running over to the sideline as we speak. Katie's a warrior. It looks like her fingers might have been stamped on, but she looks like she's ready to rock again.
Okay, well, I wonder what they're thinking in Tepaloke at the moment. Marie?
We're quite concerned actually, because Katie Allen Cawley has set the tone in Australia, and we do not want to see her in any way injured.
No, she's been brilliant so far, Katie. As you said, a couple of moments that we have had an attack, she's been at the heart of it, and just her aggression alone and her physicality and the energy that she's brought to the team, I think she's played really well. So it's always a concern anytime Katie goes down, but particularly in a match as big as this. But I think she's been really, really good in this first half so far, and it looks like she's getting ready to come back on, Marie, which is a major positive.
Yeah, Rebecca, she's really testing the Australians.
Yeah, exactly. She's stepped up to the plate, as I said. You know, she's done it for the last while as captain, you know, and look, she's raring to go, and you can see her there. Look, she's made of tough stuff and ready to get straight back on the pitch.
Absolutely. Let's go back now to Claire and Adrian.
38 minutes played, still 0-0. Hayley Rasso goes to ground, and there's concern now for the Australians over the well-being of Hayley Rasso. Thankfully, as mentioned, Katie McCabe back on the field of play, so Rasso going down under a challenge from the aforementioned Katie McCabe, and it was a full-on coming together, but Rasso came out the worst of it.
Yeah, Katie got to the ball first and Rasso came in, and it looks like she just kind of followed through. But yeah, I'm just delighted that Katie was able to get back onto the pitch. We need her, especially in moments like this. You know, 6 minutes to half time. These are the moments that we need to dig deep, and these are the moments that we need Katie McCabe.
Yeah, but it will be a free kick for Australia. Hayley Rasso looks like she'll be okay to continue, although she's bearing a rather pained expression at the moment. And she's back on her feet. The referee sounds the whistle, so but the throw-in is taken quickly for Australia, and an opportunity for Caitlin Ford on the turn, and well, it was a cross-come shot along the deck, and it's gathered in by Courtney Brosnan, the Irish goalkeeper. Ford not quite making the connection she hoped for there.
Yeah, no, she's not. She's shown what she can do. You know, she just kind of skipped past Louise and Shiva there, so yeah, we need to keep an eye on her, and we need to get closer to her, because they're the types of things that she can do.
Well, it remains tight at Stadium Australia, 0-0 between Australia, the co-hosts of the 2023 World Cup, and the Republic of Ireland, as Marissa Shiva has her pocket picked by Katrina Gorey. It's going to be a throw-in for Ireland, just shy of the halfway line, to be taken by Katie McCabe. McCabe leading by example for the Republic of Ireland so far in the match. Scoreless, just over 5 minutes to go to the interval, and McCabe with the throw-in, but straight to Ellie Carpenter, and the ball will break in favour of Ciara Carusa, but the ball just bounces out of play for an Australian throw, and halfway inside their own half. She's worked very hard so far in the match, Ciara Carusa. She has to operate in that lone striking role, but she's covered so much ground.
Yeah, she's just a warrior, you know. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and she does 100% work rate every single time she steps out onto the pitch. And she's vital in this team at the moment. You know, we need someone like her who's strong and athletic, and someone who can hold up the ball so she can bring in other players.
Well, Hayley Rasso in possession for Australia, plays it for the ball, breaks around the edge of the area. It's still there for Australia, trying to make inroads. Courtney Vine involved, and eventually Ireland managed to wrestle control of the ball back through Denise O'Sullivan, who gets the return pass halfway inside the Irish half. O'Sullivan linking up with Sinead Farley, and the ball breaks on the far side. Heather Payne trying to win control of it once again. It's all a bit harum-scarum at the moment. Eventually, though, the Brazilian official has awarded a free kick after the challenge came in on Cara Cooney Cross, and it's a free kick to Australia. And some of the Irish supporters are not too happy, and there's been a yellow card brandished. And Denise O'Sullivan just having a word with the referee, but a yellow card flashed, the first of the match. So well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it was a shocking decision, to be honest. She went in, she won the tackle. You know, I don't know, I think she went down very easily, and I think there was a little bit of a reaction out of Denise, but anyone would have reacted to something like that. So yeah, it's an unfortunate yellow card. We didn't need Denise O'Sullivan picking up a yellow card in this moment in the game.
3 minutes to go to half time, 0-0. Australia with this free kick, far side of the pitch. It's about 25 metres inside the Irish half. 2 in the wall for Ireland, including Denise O'Sullivan, who picked up that yellow card just a few moments ago. Katrina Gorry over the dead ball, and it's delivered from deep up towards the edge of the area, and Ireland's trying to scramble it clear. Mary Fowler is onto the loose ball. Fowler, who scored twice in that solitary international between the two sides back in 2021, but Ireland the winners by 3-2. Ball pinged into the area once again, and it bounces into the waiting gloves of Courtney Brosnan, and it stays at 0-0 as we edge closer towards half time. Courtney Brosnan advances to the edge of her area.
Yeah, I'm delighted to see Courtney holding on to the ball here. You know, this is all about game management. 3 minutes before half time, we need to control the game in these moments, and I'm delighted with her decision to do that.
Yeah, hugely important to try and get a positive result in your opening match in any group competition, and that's certainly the case for the Republic of Ireland. A draw would be a smashing result to take into the match that follows against Canada, and the final group game, of course, in Brisbane then against Nigeria. But still a lot of football to be played here in Sydney this evening, or this morning as it is in Ireland, as we nudge towards half time. Rasso on Australia's right hand side gets the ball under control immediately. The pressure is applied by Katie McCabe, who is certainly shaken off that knock she sustained a little earlier. Hayley Rasso skips away from the challenge from Marussia Littlejohn, and the ball is sent back to Mackenzie Arnold by Claire Hunt, and now it's out to Alana Kennedy, halfway inside her own half, slips the ball forward, and Katrina Gorry gets on the turn. She really likes to dictate from the centre of midfield for Gustafsson's Australian side. Kennedy now square once again for Claire Hunt. Hunt fires it forward, but it's rather aimless, and Ireland have possession back now with Denise O'Sullivan, unable to get the ball under control, and Catley lays it forward now to Courtney Vine down that left hand side. Heather Payne backpedaling. Payne does really well to get a block in, and Sinead Farley back defending, does really well, and eventually between Heather Payne and Sinead Farley they've managed to snuff out the danger posed by Australia. Good defending, the two there working in tandem.
Yeah, that was brilliant by Heather and Sinead there. You know what Caitlin Ford can do. She does it week in, week out at Arsenal, and to be able to keep her out in those moments is just brilliant. And yeah, well done to Heather and Sinead.
Marcia Shiva and Sinead Farley, the two that have merged since qualification was secured. They both were, of course, on the radar of Vera Pauw, and as soon as qualification was secured, their passports were well and truly stamped, so they've emerged from the shadows to claim places in the 23-player squad. The referee is we've got a possible penalty check ongoing here, and Louise Quinn has just been informed of that, so there's a check for a potential handball. So this will be of concern for the Republic of Ireland. So anxious moments here, but the check is over. Whew.
My heart was in my mouth there for a moment.
45th minute at Stadium Australia, and it stays goalless. Australia 0, Ireland 0. And there will be 6 additional minutes to be added on. 6 minutes at the end of the opening half here, and it's Australia who have possession inside their own half. So thankfully for the Republic of Ireland, nothing came off that penalty check. Ellie Carpenter drives down that right hand side, just checks her run and rolls it back to Kyra Cooney-Cross. Gets the return of Katrina Gorry. Cooney-Cross on it once again, a little short pass infield. She gets the return from Cooney-Cross. Well intercepted by Katie McCabe for the Republic of Ireland, and Katie McCabe and Mother coming together, and McCabe has stayed down once again. So concern once again in the involvement there of Katie McCabe. It was an honest challenge made by both players, and Katie McCabe, in fairness to her, is just checking on the welfare of looks like Ellie Carpenter. But all is good, and play will resume. We're in stoppage time at the end of the first half, and Katie McCabe is back on her feet. In fact, it was Kyra Cooney-Cross who was on the receiving end of that coming together. She certainly made a stern stuff, Katie McCabe. She's been in the wars so far this evening.
Yeah, she is, but she needs to start looking after herself and being careful. You know, she's after firing herself into too many challenges there. I think there was 3 on the trot. So yeah, the last thing we need is Katie picking up a yellow card in the early stages of this game.
But it is a free kick for Australia to be taken by Steph Catley. Gorry is there as well, but it will be the Arsenal player to deliver, and it's a decent ball up towards the edge of the area, and Ireland managed to clear their lines. Good defending there by Niamh Fahey, the Galway woman who won in All-Ireland with Galway back in 2004, putting her head where it hurts and executing the clearance. Ellie Carpenter to take the throw in that results halfway inside the Irish half. She goes short to Katrina Gorry, and Gorry trying to slip it forward, but knocks the ball straight out of play, and it'll be a throw-in for the Republic of Ireland in the 3rd minute of stoppage time at the end of the opening half here at Stadium Australia. And it's been a decent showing from the Republic of Ireland, well in this contest. Obviously they haven't coughed up too many chances except for that header, which just started narrowly wide. Ireland thought they should have had a free kick for a challenge there on Denise O'Sullivan. Ball goes out of play. Marissa Shiva also looking in the direction of the referee, and Ireland perhaps feeling they're not getting the benefit of some of the decisions here.
No, they're not, and you know, there was nothing in the difference between that tackle on Denise and that tackle there that Shiva put in as well. So yeah, Ireland are just getting a little bit feisty now, and they need to just try and keep that composure and keep control on the game.
Cooney-Cross pings it forward for Australia, and it's a clever ball to pick out Courtney Vine. It just eluded Heather Payne, who was stretching to try and get something on it. And Australia will have a second bite at it once again with Cooney-Cross, but instead she goes all the way back to Alana Kennedy. Kennedy has support available, and it's Claire Hunt who provides that support. Ball breaks out to the right hand side for Australia, and Katie McCabe cleverly allows the ball bounce out of play, and it'll be a relieving throw in for the Republic of Ireland deep inside their own half, to be taken by Katie McCabe on halfway. Plays it forward, but Hunt is there, and now it's sent forward by Gorry. Louise Quinn with the header away for Ireland, breaks to Hayley Rasso halfway inside the Irish half, and now Cooney-Cross plays the ball into a central position, but well read for the Republic of Ireland by Niamh Fahey, who clears her lines. But the Aussies have it back once again with Alana Kennedy. And now the team in yellow tried to threaten the breakthrough before half-time in the 5th minute of stoppage time. And it's been a big occasion for these Irish players. History being made here this evening at Stadium Australia. An Irish team participating in a World Cup finals. What a proud moment for Katie McCabe to lead out her team alongside her Arsenal comrade Steph Catley, who skippers this evening for Australia in the absence of the injured Sam Kerr. That's the big news, of course, for Australia, as Ireland tried to get control of the ball. Ellie Carpenter under real pressure from the ever willing and ever battling Katie McCabe, but Australia retained possession of the ball with Ellie Carpenter, and now it's sent back by Alana Kennedy to Mackenzie Arnold. What will Vera Powell make of the first half, do you think, Claire?
Yeah, I think she'll be happy, you know, going in as a draw is a great position for us. Just once we don't concede this late into the second half is something that she's going to look for. So
once again defending so superbly, and it needed solid defending there as Caitlin Ford threatened.
Yeah, absolutely. Heather again just shows her pace. She was absolutely superb.
The driven shot from long range is held on to as the attempt came in from Katrina Gorry quite some distance out, and it bounced awkwardly in front of Courtney Brosnan, but a pretty routine save for the Irish netminder. And Australia looking for that breakthrough before half time, but it looks like they'll go in all square at the break, and that will please, I would imagine, the Irish management team. They're very much in this contest, a game of fine margins, not too much in it so far, Claire.
No, there hasn't been, and this is a great position for us, and here we are for half time.
Yep. Right bang in the contest where Vera Pauw would have hoped before the game. Obviously, we hope that we could nick something, but it's very, very tight, it has to be said.
Yeah, absolutely it is. This is a great position for Ireland going in the break. 0-0. It's all to play for in the second half, and I think Australia will feel a little hard done by. There's been some incredible tackles going in there, and blood has been spilled, let's just say that, and it's all to play for the second half, and hopefully we can nick a goal or get something out of the game.
Well, it is tantalisingly set up for the second half. All square at the break here in Sydney. It's Australia 0, Ireland 0.
Thanks, Claire. And Adrian, it is tight, it is tense, it is exactly what we were hoping for, Alan. It is a scoreless draw right now.
Yeah, it's a good watch as well, Marie, and I think the girls have acquitted themselves really, really well. Obviously, you'd expect Australia to come out at the start and maybe kind of opening exchanges come at us fairly quickly, but that really didn't materialise, and the girls settled into the game really, really well. Then we got a couple of moments, I think after around the 13th moment was the first time we put a passage of play together where we strung a few passes together, won a free kick on the left hand side. And since then it's been pretty even, and we've probably had the better of the moments going forward in terms of just that final ball letting us down. There was a period there around midway through the half when there was a sustained attack, and maybe if Carusa could have taken a better touch we might have been in. And in terms of us defensively, obviously there's been a couple of tackles towards the end there, but I think we've been sound defensively, and I think Katie McCabe's been outstanding throughout. She's really brought a serious aggression and energy to the game, and quality as well that she possesses. Just needs to be careful a little bit, Marie, that tackle towards the end, she probably just stepped over the mark a little bit, but I love her competitive edge and what she's brought, and I think Vera will be delighted with the half.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say even to get her team into the dressing room and everyone to be fit and well, and only one yellow card, Denise O'Sullivan as well, isn't a bad place to be in, and not to be chasing a game. But just on Katie McCabe, Rebecca, for the whole game she has set the tone. It's been a battle, but she is thrown herself into a lot of tackles, and you can only ride your luck with that for so long.
Yeah, exactly. Like she likes to push the boundaries as such, she likes to play in the edge, I suppose, and look, she is going to just have to kind of gather herself. I know, emotions can come through, the adrenaline is probably pumping, and look, she set the tone, as Alan said. She's been fantastic for us all first half. It is just a case of just maintaining our discipline now for second half. Look, Vera is going to be delighted, I'm sure, with that start. I don't think anyone could have hoped for a better start, and look, it's 0-0. We go in with a blank canvas again and come out fighting, hopefully, second half.
And it's not 0-0, Marie, where it's backs to the wall, no. And Courtney Brosnan is pulling off save after save. We've given as good as we've gotten in the game, and at times better, so I think Vera will be absolutely delighted, as I say, maintain. There won't be much changes in terms of the approach in the second half. The only thing, and we mentioned this pre-game, is when you're in that defensive shape and that low block, it is hard to kind of transition in terms of the distance you have to cover to try and get up in support of Carusa. And there was a couple of times it went into her, and you would be hoping that she could hold it up a little bit better just to bring others into the game. But overall, as I say, in terms of the occasion and the expectation and the hype and the nerves and all the factors that we were kind of discussing coming into it, I think they can be more than happy with their performance so far.
Yeah, and I think as well how they're managing what Australia were trying to achieve. So you could see that they were targeting that space between Niamh and Heather, but Heather has been able to keep that play wide all of the time. She has that pace, she's able to use it, she's getting those tackles in. I feel she's really learned from that France game as well, Rebecca.
Yeah, exactly. Look, she's grown as she, the more she's out on that right position, compared to being up top. I know up top we do want that pace, but I think I found at times with Heather she was quite, just doing doggies, shuttle runs up top, but there was no kind of end product with her. I think it suits her a little bit better out on that right side. side. I know she's not in the most advanced position that we'd like, but look, she's helping out Fahy there, who might not be as pacey, you know, with Courtney Vine, who's electric when she gets going. So look, we've kind of weathered the storm as such, and look, I just like to see us maybe, you know, create a little bit more. I don't think there's been a shot on target for either side.
One near the end where Courtney just pulled off the save, but nothing of any trouble.
No. You know, I'd like to see us give maybe less corners away, but look, it's positive to say the least.
Yeah, it feels like it's all to play for, which is the position that this Ireland team wanted to be in. It's a better position than I think that we thought that they would be in. It's scoreless, but we're creating chances, we're defending well. I don't feel like we're under threat. We haven't been under a major threat, even though the likes of Caitlin Ford has got opportunities. Heather was able to close her down. They're able to push her out wide when they need to. But what Ireland need to do now, and you know, we've talked about that space up the flanks, and it is there, and trying to get our wing backs up. I just wonder, is Vera going to make any tactical adjustments? Is she going to just go after the game, Alan?
Well, that's a brave call to make at this moment in time, because you're coming into the game, baby, hoping that you'd be in this position. I think on the evidence of what we've seen so far, Marie, I think she can be more than happy in terms of, and that hope now can change to, we're very much in this game and we could potentially go and win it. It's a brave call now to make changes, adventurous ones to try and go and win it. So I think she'll stay the same as is, and just look for those moments when we do break out of that defensive shape, that just the final ball can be better. There was one where Katie broke away, the exact scenario that you would want in that setup, where Katie breaks down the left hand side when there's a turnover, plays an early pass to Kyra Carusa, and unfortunately just her touch couldn't get on the end of it. But they're the moments that you're hoping for when you're playing in this defensive shape. So I don't think there will be any changes as of yet. As I said, maintain more of the same and they can be more than happy. But rather than thinking we're clinging on for a draw here, the talk in the dressing room should be, we're very much in this game and it is there for the taking if we want it.
Yeah, and even from a possession perspective, we've always asked this team, we want them to have more possession. We were looking for that creativity. We wanted them to control that ball a little bit more. That's why Sinead Farrelly was coming in there, because of that. And it seems now that we are more comfortable on the ball. We're demanding and commanding the possession a little bit more than what we're used to, Rebecca.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we've ever seen a tidier, possession game from us. We've done really well and we look comfy on the ball. There was times there when I was thinking, we might panic here, but look, they settle it down. They've been knocking around really well, and look, trying to just probe, I suppose. Once Katie gets that ball out left, she's head up looking to get the likes of Carusa to hold it up and link in with Shiva. So yeah, look, there's no complaints really, I suppose. Obviously we would like to go and maybe push it a little bit more up top. We're all here for
what we wish for.
I know. You don't want to make any kind of drastic kind of changes. So look, we'll see how we go in the first 15.
See, the fear is, Marie, if you push the boat out now at this stage, obviously they'll try and exploit you, and that's you mentioned there about they're trying to get down the wings.
Can't get ahead of us.
Yeah, so for now I think it's fine in terms of, like, if someone said to you at the start of the game you'd get a point from this, they would have snapped your hand off for that, I would have felt, especially in the build up. So right now there's no need whatsoever to be making drastic changes, but I do think the mindset should change a little bit, rather than actually, and I'm not saying this was the mindset from the players, but maybe from us outside thinking, we're hopeful of getting a result. I think it should change within the camp now, that they feel, look, we've seen what they've thrown at us. Very little. There's very much in the game, and we are very much in the game. There's not a lot between these sides. Obviously you take Sam Kerr out of it, maybe evens it up a little bit as well, but in terms of what they've offered going forward, very little. Like Courtney, defensively I think the shape has been good, they've been sound. Heather has dropped back and that's always the fear with the wing backs, that they would be kind of almost become a back five, and that has happened a few times on the right hand side. But Heather has done very well in her defensive duties. Katie's the one that's been offering the outlet on the left hand side with her energy to get up the pitch, and it's a big distance then to travel to try and get up and support. That's the only small little negative, but that just comes with, I suppose, with the shape that you're playing and the opposition as well, that if they're having a lot of the ball, that when you do turn it over, it's very hard to get up then in support of Carusa. But I can't reiterate enough, like, they've been more than happy with the performance so far, Marie.
Our 2FM coverage is coming live from the Roadcaster in Templeogue United, and just even looking at the crowd there, Rebecca, and I guess before we were heading into this game there was a concern. You're going up against a higher ranked team like Australia, with players who are playing at a higher level, but this Ireland team have put on a show. I think they've equipped themselves so well. Everybody here is so behind them, because the battling qualities that they're showing out there have been phenomenal. You can't really ask for anything more, in my opinion, anyway.
Exactly. Look, as I said, and I've said in many kind of interviews and stuff over the last little while, like, we're an underdog team. You know, we're dogged, we're rugged, and we'll go for it no matter what. And I think that's just a kind of blanket feeling across Irish sport in general. You know, bar the rugby we do well, but yeah, look, we like to be that underdog and fight for you know, our position. And look, the girls have put it in there, and looking at the crowd here, it's fantastic. You know, there's old, there's young, there's male, there's female. It's brilliant. There's GAA heads have swarmed in. We've let them in as well.
Rebecca.
But
you lads blowing you kisses.
I know. Happy days. But yeah, look, it's great. Look, the rain has come down here, but it's not kind of dampened the feeling or the mood, to say the least.
Yeah, I think that they have equipped themselves so well, and the second half now, there's an anticipation there, Alan, that look, maybe we could actually get something more than a draw from this game, just given the way that they have played so far in the half. And I think when we think back to the Australian manager's press conference as well, and the confidence of him and how he had every eventuality covered in terms of what he was going to do. He's starting 11, he's finishing 11, the substitutions that he was going to make. I'd say he's a bit at sea now in there at half time. Yeah,
I was hoping he'd bring Tony back up, all right, Marie, because he'll have to delve back into that little folder that he has with all the outcomes and the scenarios that he basically said he has covered, because he'd want to start thinking of his finishing 11, because I've been disappointed with Australia. They've offered very little for all the talk and all the hype, the hype of them. They've offered very little. As I said, Courtney Brosnan has one save to make, a shot from, it was about 25 yards right down her throat, which was comfortable to save. Other than that, there was a header from a corner where Rasso got on the end of it that went wide. But that's about it, Marie. They've offered very, very little. And as I say, Vera will be over the moon. And that's why I'm hoping, even from my feeling, from watching the match as well, I hope the girls can sense and feel that we're right in this match. You know, it's not like it's a backs to the wall clinging on performance and we're kind of last ditch tackles and stuff like that. It hasn't been that at all. They've been quite comfortable in their defensive duties. It's just that feeling, how can you break out and obviously be brave enough to get up that pitch and try and create that moment of quality. We all pin our hopes on Katie for that. Denise, maybe the problem with Denise in the position that she's playing today, when she's in that defensive midfield role, it's harder then to be in those positions where she's going to maybe play a pass or a killer pass. So we haven't really seen her in those advanced areas, even though she's done quite well in the role. But that's what you're just hoping, who's going to be the one to open that door for us. But I'm really happy with the performance, Marie. I have to say, I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think it could be Carusa, because I think when she's on the ball, she does look like she can threaten.
She can hold it up well.
There is something in there that she might be able to get that turn away, to get into that space. Maybe Shiva might pick her out. The things that they've been working on, those flashes that we saw in France, you would hope that it might come to fruition at some stage.
Exactly. Like she's been fantastic in holding the ball up. You know, she's obviously strong, but she can keep possession. You know, she's really good at that. And when you've got a runner like Shiva in behind, you know, anything can happen. Obviously, we are heavily reliant, I suppose, on the likes of Katie and Denise over the years. But, you know, just even Heather Payne, getting her more advanced, getting her defence stepping up a little bit. I know it's a bit, you know, it can be detrimental when you've got the pace of Ford and Vine, you know, in behind for Australia. But look, it might be a chance towards the end of the game. You know, why not?
It's the approach Vera's always gone with. It's not like this is anything new. We're well used to this, even playing against teams of a similar standard to us. So there's nothing new there. They're not going to change that. Just the only thing with Carusa, she's done a lot of running as well, Marie, and even in her kind of willingness to try and get the ball back, and she's chasing, trying to get over the right hand side of the pitch when the ball is on that side, get over on the left hand side. That's a tough ask as well. So it could be the case if Amber comes on or a substitute, obviously, because I don't think she's going to last the pace because of the amount of work that she's having to do. So maybe around 65-70 minutes you may see an introduction in that role, that position. So it could be.
And it wouldn't be the only position that there could be changes either, because when you're looking at the team and how much football they've played, and you look at the likes of Farley as well, we know she doesn't have 90 minutes in her.
No, most definitely not. And I look at the likes of Lily Ag, you know, who done well for us in the campaign, got that great goal against Finland as well, you know, the Heather. So yeah, look, she may come on. You know, we've got a decent enough bench there. Obviously the experience of Dion Colwell as well, if we, you know, get a bit leggy at the back. So look, it'll be interesting to see how she fares out and you know, what substitutions she does make.
I know, Alan, you didn't think Connolly should stay in that back three position or even start in that back three position, but I think that if she could stay there and have the legs to cover the likes of Louise and Niamh Fahey, then that might give opportunities for the two wing backs to come up. I think taking her out of it, you don't want our two more experienced defenders to be left isolated, especially with you got the speed of forward.
Yeah, and I think Megan has done very well, and I've no qualms about her playing as the left-sided centre half. I just think she offers more in terms of when she's in midfield, and it frees Denise up. So that's the only kind of reason as to why I don't want her there. But she's done very well. There was one ball she did miss. She came out to try and clear it, went in behind her, and Louise Quinn, who's played very well, Louise came over and covered her in that instance. But they're only small little things. Like, as I say, these are a couple of our opinions, Marie. Vera's obviously chosen the team that she feels is best to get a result, and nobody could fault her in that selection at the moment. They've all done very, very well. You mentioned obviously Farley and Shiva had a new kind of introductions into the team, if you like, from what we're not used to throughout the campaign, and they've done very well in a defensive kind of shape. We've seen very little of Farley on the ball, and that's kind of probably due to the fact of the game that we're in. We haven't had a lot of the ball in terms of those advanced areas where she can tread a pass, something like what we're saying about seeing Denise in an advanced area. But in terms of her defensive duties, herself and Shiva have done quite well.
Okay, prediction for the second half, a quick one, Al?
A draw.
I'm sticking with 1-0.
Okay, well, let's head back now to Sydney, to Claire and to Adrian, because the teams are back on the pitch.
Very good, Marie. Yeah, teams back out. Claire Shine, prediction?
Here we go.
Yeah, have you a prediction first? Are you going?
Sorry.
No.
I have a
putting you
draw.
on the spot now.
I have a draw, or we're going to nick it 1-0.
Yeah, you were very confident before kick-off, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I just have that belief. I don't know what it is. I have that gut feeling that, something is going to go our way. It hasn't gone our way for so long, and I just believe that this is our time.
Well, certainly at the moment, Vera Pauw has a broad smile on her face. She'll be very pleased with the opening half. They've largely kept Australia at bay and restricted them to, shots from range, apart from that Hayley Rasso header, which darted just wide of the post. It's been pretty comfortable, but Australia, as we know, they can turn it on in the blink of an eye, so that has to be the concern as the second half gets underway. And it's Kira Carusa who sets us in motion. And as we look out on this splendid Stadium Australia, it's Ireland playing from left to right. Louise Quinn trying to fire it forward for Ireland. A lot of these spectators here, attendance around about 75,000, making their way back to their seats at the moment, but certainly so much green right around the place. It's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. You can just hear them singing the whole time. It's, this is what dreams are made of, and these girls can definitely hear them. And they're getting right behind them, and the second half is when we're going to need them the most. So yeah, I hope they just get even louder.
Sinead Farley sends it all the way back to Niamh Fahey, who takes a touch. Niamh Fahey, a little like Louise Quinn, has been really spot on in terms of her defensive duties so far, as the referee sounds her whistle, and there's going to be a free kick following that challenge just on halfway from Steph Catley. It's been quite a well-travelled road for the Republic of Ireland to get to this very place, playing at a first ever major tournament at a World Cup finals, and Vera Pauw has guided this team here. Now, what can they achieve in Group B? A positive result here tonight would be the business, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. These girls have dreamt about this moment, as I said earlier, and now it's here. What can they do? How can they get out of this group? How can they, get results? And it just comes down to how much do they actually want it. And I think that first half performance just shows.
Well, they could get something here because they have a free kick about 20 metres inside the Australian half, taken by Megan Connolly, floated up towards the edge of the area. Australia managed to defend their lines, and Ellie Carpenter feeds it down the line. Remember, of course, if you're just joining us, Ireland 0, Australia 0 in this opening match in Group B at the World Cup finals. And of course, the big news for Australia, no Sam Kerr, and Ireland skippered by Katie McCabe, who was certainly battle hardened during the course of the first half, really putting her body on the line on several occasions, and twice required treatment. But she's really played her part from that left wing back position that she occupies under Vera Pauw. What's your thoughts on McCabe playing at left wing back as opposed to further forward?
I've mixed signals or mixed emotions about it, to be honest. I think she does really well in both positions. I think if you put her in goal, she'd do a job for you. But higher up the pitch, it just puts her in more dangerous positions. She's able to create more, but what she does in that left back position as well is extremely influential to this team. So as I said, I'd put her anywhere on the pitch when she's on it.
Here's Katrina Gorry, who gets on it for Australia, feeds it forward, but Megan Connolly will be happy enough to see the ball just bobble out of play on the far side. So no fast start so far to the second half from the team in yellow, the Australians, the Matildas as they're commonly known in Australia. So Ireland get the throw in on the far side, and once again you can hear the Irish fans in the background, maybe just faintly at the moment, with the fields of Athenry. Mary Fowler is closed down. Mary Fowler, at 20 years of age, the youngest player in the Australian squad, as they work it out to this left-hand side to Catley, who's deputising as captain tonight in the absence of Sam Kerr. Alana Kennedy plays it forward, and now Australia work it out to this left-hand side to Catley once again. And Kyra Cooney cross feeds it forward now to Mary Fowler, and Fowler slipping it forward, looking for Courtney Vine, manages to weave her way inside the area. Still Courtney Vine, and Fowler is there as well in the end. The referee has spotted an infringement, and it's going to be a free kick to the Republic of Ireland, much to the annoyance of many inside Stadium Australia that support the team in yellow. It's a free kick for the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, that was an inch timed perfect tackle from Nia Fahy there. You know, if she was a second late, that could have went completely differently, and it could have been a spot kick to Australia. So yeah, that was brilliant from Nia Fahy.
Indeed, the Irish team have taken their place amongst the nations of the earth at the World Cup finals, qualifying of course for a first ever major tournament. World Cup finals achieved with that marvellous qualifying campaign, ending in that marvellous playoff victory. Amber Barrett is on the bench tonight, nudging home that all-important, that priceless goal in Glasgow back in October. And now Ireland can dream, and dream big here. They're on the world stage. What can they achieve in Australia at the World Cup finals? And it's all about starting well, and so far they've acquitted themselves very well against Australia, as Sinead Farley lays it off to Heather Payne on this near side, but she's outnumbered, and Australia managed to get control of the ball back once again with Courtney Vine. It's laid off now. Mary Fowler is onto it, about 35 metres out from goal, forced away from goal, but Australia will probe once again out to Courtney Vine, who is a real live threat down that left-hand side. Back to Kyra Cooney cross, who delivers the cross, and Australia looking for a penalty, and the referee has pointed to the spot. Marissa Shiva protests. Hayley Rasso went down inside the area. Well, a big call here made by the official, and it's a penalty to Australia. 5 minutes into the second half, Ireland were looking for a positive start to the second half. We can see it once again. Claire.
Yeah, that's extremely disappointing. You can just see Hayley Rasso running over, and there was nothing Shiva could have done there. She just ran over her feet, and you know, the referee just had to make a call. And yeah, it's just extremely disappointing. 5 minutes into the second half, but you know, we've got Courtney Brosnan in goal. Anything can happen. You know, she's been studying this. Let's see, can she pull off one of those magnificent saves again? And yeah, it's just extremely disappointing.
So it's a penalty for Australia. Marissa Shiva, the guilty party, and an opportunity for the host nation, the co-host, to go in front. A penalty kick early in the second half. This to give the Australians a 1-0 lead. Can Courtney Brosnan do the business for the Republic of Ireland? 7th minute of the second half. Penalty Australia after Hayley Rasso was taken down inside the area. She felt the contact, down she went, and the penalty is stroked home, and Australia go in front at Stadium Australia. Steph Catley makes absolutely no mistake, fires the penalty high into the roof of the net. Brosnan did her best, but Catley unerring with the penalty. And all of Ireland's good work has been undone early in the second half. Catley makes no mistake. Australia 1, Ireland 0. Hugely disappointing start to the second half for Ireland, and now they have to try and come from behind.
Yeah, it's just extremely disappointing, but now we need to get behind them. They need to start looking composed. They need to, you know, be confident in each other. There's still another 30 minutes to go, so yeah, the game's not over yet, and Ireland just needs to start capitalising on this and start creating chances.
Oh, they've coughed up another opportunity here. Mary Fowler running at the Irish defence, and the shot in and over the bar. Well, she just got underneath it, and it was rising all the way, and Ireland need to switch on here smartly, having conceded a penalty which was converted. They almost gifted Australia another opportunity there. So Steph Catley with the goal. What a great penalty, it has to be said, from an Australian perspective. Courtney Brosnan went the wrong way, but was planted high into the top corner, left-hand corner. Majestic penalty from Catley, and it's Australia who lead by 1-0, and Ireland with so much work to do now. And they have to try and force an opening, but they're well capable of doing so as the ball is sent forward looking for the run of Ciara Carusa. Alana Kennedy is back defending, and it's a rather scruffy clearance by Alana Kennedy, but it'll be a throw in for Ireland on the far side, about 15 metres in from the corner flag on the far side. And the penalty award now, things getting a little heated with Katie McCabe and Hayley Rasso. So it's a free kick for Ireland, and Gorry also involved as well. Katrina Gorry just retreating, so a free kick Ireland, far side of the pitch. It was a rather snappy challenge from Katrina Gorry, and you can see why Katie McCabe was incensed.
Yeah, absolutely, it's getting heated. You can feel how intense it is from the pitch. You know, Gorry was lucky there, she didn't actually stand on Katie McCabe, so yeah, it's an extremely dangerous position for Ireland. We need to get in and we need to make something happen in this moment.
Yeah, it's a free kick to Ireland, about 10 metres outside the area, but it's just a metre or two in from the sideline on the far side, so it'll be swung in here. A line of Irish players on the edge of the area. Australia preparing to defend. They've got a 2-player wall at the moment, and Katie McCabe will leave it on the opportunity for Megan Connolly to deliver, and it's a high hanging ball into the area. Can Ireland profit? Ball is fed out in the direction of Denise O'Sullivan, but she's swarmed upon, and Australia have possession back, and it's sent forward by the goal scorer Steph Catley for Australia. Ball breaks to Caitlin Ford on halfway, and the ball ricochets in favour of Australia, and they're getting all the 50-50s, all the breaks at the moment. Australia, the home side here, as they try to fashion an opening down the right hand side with Cooney Cross. Works it back, Australia. Well, their dander is up at the moment. They've been invigorated by making the breakthrough. That penalty converted with some aplomb by Steph Catley has really got them buzzing here, as Louise Quinn at the moment is down on the seat of her pants, and she looks a rather concerned figure. This is a worry now. I know we've suggested in the first half, or we did, that Katie McCabe was a real worry, but it looks like Louise Quinn, she's certainly bearing an expression which would suggest that she's in trouble.
Yeah, it looks like it. She's not a player to go down. Maybe she just got a knock, in that free kick. But it looks like she's up and she's walking back. She doesn't need any treatment, so
well, initially,
thank God for that.
Yeah, initially it looked like she was she bore the expression of a player who felt her race was run, but she's back on her feet, and Ireland back to their full complement of 11. Great scenes of jubilation amongst the Australian supporters when they made the breakthrough with that firmly struck Catley penalty. So Ireland with work to do here, having conceded so early in the second half. Plenty of time though to turn it around. As they say, Claire, you just need one opportunity.
Yes, exactly. You could see it in that Scotland game as well. Amber got one opportunity and took it. Anything can happen in these games, and if we just keep positive and keep doing what we're doing and getting the ball down and playing, look for each other and try and create some chances, that time will come. And yeah, it looks like we have another free kick here as well.
Yeah, just on halfway. Handball by Katrina Gorry, who really made the headlines in Australia last year in becoming a mum. Not just for that, but she gave birth to a baby Harper, but it was a solo birth. So she went through the whole IVU route and is now a proud mum. It has captured all kinds of headlines in newspapers and on TV news bulletins as well. So she's certainly been in the focus of the media storm over the last while. Ireland with this free kick to be taken by Megan Connolly. It's only about 15 metres inside the Australian half in pretty much a central position, so it'll be lofted in by the Cork woman. Can Ireland conjure up an equalising goal in Sydney? Connolly delivers, and Mackenzie Arnold, very decisive, made the decision to come and collect, and she was vindicated in that. Mackenzie Arnold, all in black this evening, bowls it out to that right hand side to Ellie Carpenter, who manages to work it down the line. Well defended by Marissa Shiva. She'll be so devastated at giving away the penalty, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely, but there's no time for that. She needs to move on and try and impact the game and try and get back into it. her head could have been gone for the first, couple of minutes, but I know her team are rallying around her and then trying to get her to move on and try and forget about it, because there's still a long way to go in the game.
Well, a poor pass by Cooney Cross gives possession back to Ireland. It's Carusa feeding it forward to Marissa Shiva, but Ellie Carpenter will win the race. In the end, though, the ball just drifts through to the Australian goalkeeper.
Yeah, we need to be better in these positions. We're getting into good areas and our final ball is letting us down.
So Australia have possession once again inside their own half, and it's pinged out to this left hand side to Caitlin Ford of Arsenal, and Ford gets the ball under control, works it back now to Steph Catley. And now Alana Kennedy has possession, and she's almost at a standstill at the moment as she strokes the ball to Hunt, and fed forward by Hunt, and Australia just dictating the terms at the moment. Here's Cooney Cross on it inside the centre circle, works it back to Alana Kennedy. Hayley Rasso making a darting run, but not picked out, all a bit slow and static and predictable from Australia, who lead here in the 15th minute of the second half by 1-0. That goal, a penalty converted 5 minutes after the restart by Steph Catley. Here's Alana Kennedy in possession for the Aussies, drives forward inside Irish territory out to Caitlin Ford on Australia's left hand side. Mary Fowler from Cairns in Australia with the layoff, but it's misdirected, and Denise O'Sullivan, who's on a yellow card, managed to glean possession, but Australia have it back once again. They're pretty adept, it must be said, Claire, at winning the ball back quickly.
Yeah, they are. They're giving them five seconds, not even 2 seconds to make a decision, and that's just what it's like on the world stage. The levels and the standards are extremely high, and we need to raise the bar and we need to get up to those levels. We don't have a lot of time on the ball.
Vera Pauw at the moment is a study in concentration just on the edge of her technical area, watching on, perhaps considering changes as Australia break forward once again, leading by 1-0, looking for a second goal, which would really pile the pressure on the Republic of Ireland. The ball played into a central position. Denise O'Sullivan is beaten to the punch there by Catley, who works it back. Ball about 35 metres out from goal, and the diagonal ball, the Heather Payne missed it, and now Ford has it for Australia, driving inside the area. Still Caitlin Ford has support from Hayley Rasso, working it back, but Denise O'Sullivan is there for Ireland. The ball though runs free. Katrina Gorry with a clipped attempt and got right underneath it, high over the crossbar from Katrina Gorry from some distance out, it must be said, but nonetheless Tony Gustafsson, the Australian manager, applauds his team after they carved out that opportunity. But past the hour mark in Sydney, and it's still Australia leading the Republic of Ireland by 1-0.
Denise O'Sullivan has been absolutely all over the park today. She's breaking down the pace, she's picking up the second ball. She just doesn't have that support around her, and we need to get that support around her. We need to start rallying around each other and try to start creating something and getting up the pitch when we win the ball back. Ball
played forward by Niamh Fahey's Ciara Carusa, who does well to hold it up on this occasion. Works it out to the left hand side. She was looking for Katie McCabe, but it was rather telegraphed and left short, and that did Katie McCabe absolutely no favours. Looks like there could well be some movement on the Irish bench, and wouldn't be at all surprised if Abby Larkin was introduced. Caught a shot a few moments ago of Vera Pauw, who turned in the direction of the bench. So in fact there'll be a double change made by the Republic of Ireland very, very shortly indeed. So we'll keep tabs on that. In the meantime, Australia have possession with Mary Fowler, but the whistle sounds, and it'll be a free kick. And Lucy Quinn and Abby Larkin are both being ready to come on here. So Lucy Quinn and Abby Larkin, what a big moment for young Abby Larkin to be introduced here at Stadium Australia, and also Lucy Quinn, who actually made her debut in the game in 2021 at Tallaght Stadium, a match which Ireland won by 3-2. So she'll be on very, very shortly, along with Abby Larkin, and they've really decked out Ringsend in Dublin. You may have seen some of the photographs and some of the pictures of Ringsend, where Abby Larkin is from. So many tricolours with her name, and there's watch parties, all sorts going on there at the moment. But she's about to come on, and so too will Lucy Quinn.
What a proud moment for her. I actually saw her family in the crowd before the game, and they had big signs saying Abby Larkin and a picture of her, and they're going to be extremely proud of her coming on to make her her World Cup debut. You know, she's still a young girl. This is just an incredible moment for her, and you know, hopefully she can make her mark. I think it's a perfect time to bring on fresh legs. We needed something. We need that extra bite going forward, and yeah, hopefully the girls can, you know, bring something new to the game.
And it's the two players who emerged post-qualification that have gone off. Marissa Shiva, who was the unfortunate player to give away the penalty, who goes off along with Sinead Farley. So that's a double change made by Vera Pauw as she tries to inject some pace and maybe just turn the game in Ireland's favour. Ireland need something here. Australia very comfortable at the moment, leading by 1-0 thanks to that Catley penalty early in the second half. So let's see if that double change will invigorate Ireland, really freshen them up and get them going once again. Here's Abby Larkin straight into the thick of the action and breaking up with the other substitute, Lucy Quinn. Ball that runs free, and Risha Littlejohn has had a rather quiet game. Is that fair?
Yeah, she has, but you know, she's one of those players who does the dirty work inside in the middle of the pitch. She runs and she gives 100%, and you know, she does the work that people don't actually see. And you know, there's a lot of players in this team that do that too. You know, she's a player who has had unfortunate injuries throughout her season this year, and you know, she's deserved where she is. She's worked extremely hard, and yeah, she's just a player that I have extreme respect for. And yeah, I think she's been quiet around the ball, but she's doing the work that nobody sees.
Yeah, quiet but quietly effective. Australia have possession on the far side of the pitch with Katrina Gorry. They can play the patient game now, the Aussies. In control at the moment, leading by 1-0. Anna Kennedy under pressure there from Kira Carusa, sends it back to her goalkeeper, who immediately dispatches the ball in the direction of Claire Hunt. And now Alana Kennedy has it once again. Catley further forward, and Hayley Rasso on this near side, and Rasso receives the pass. Immediately the pressure is applied by Heather Payne for the Republic of Ireland. And now Denise O'Sullivan battling to try and win it back at the expense of Kyra Cooney-Cross, who plays the ball forward, but too much on it, and right on the edge of her area. Courtney Brosnan gathers, and some of the Australian spectators felt that she was maybe marginally outside her area, but that would have been a big call made by the referee. And of course that penalty awarded for Australia early in the second half, it would have been checked by VAR as well. So Marissa Shiva bringing down Hayley Rasso, resulting in that penalty, which was very, very confidently dispatched into the top left-hand corner by Steph Catley, and that's the difference between the sides. A match that has been very, very tight so far, separated by that big decision, but there's no doubting it was a justified penalty. And Marissa Shiva, we just see her at the moment, just caught a shot on the screen here, and she looks absolutely crestfallen, and that's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's just one of those things, you know, that it's just a split second. There was nothing really she could have done. She ran over her shoulder, and she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and these things happen in football, and it's just unfortunate that it's come to a penalty to decide what the difference is on the day. And yeah, Ireland, you know, we still have another 25 minutes to go, so
throw in for the Republic of Ireland to be taken by Heather Payne. Well, Tony Gustafsson, the Australian manager, was saying how he has two players for every position, and the team that finishes the match will be just as strong as the team that started it. And he's yet to turn towards his bench, but you would imagine he will. And of course, in the World Cup competition, where matches come thick and fast, he'll be preparing for the next assignment against Nigeria. So he'll start thinking about that, but obviously they have to close it out here. That's the key thing from an Australian perspective. For Ireland, it's all about getting back into the match. Can they create that one opportunity and make it count? Well, they've coughed up possession. Gorry onto it. Littlejohn with a mistake, and the driven shot is blocked away superbly by Louise Quinn. And Gorry has been a real threat, driving forward from midfield, and a shot blocked behind for a corner kick. Ireland almost guilty of gifting Australia another opportunity in the match.
yeah, it was just a heavy touch from Rusha. Two players on her straight away. You know, we don't have that time in these games, and yeah, it was just we were lucky there that we got the block in, and we need to get behind this and get it out.
So it's a set piece. It's a corner kick for Australia to be taken by Catley, far side of the pitch. Ireland picking up players inside the area. A bit Bit of a semi-zonal approach going on. Kathleen now swings it in. It's a really sweet delivery as well, and a glancing header at the near post, drifts just wide at the back. Caitlin Ford did really well to get something on it. That glancing attempt, and not too far away from a second goal for Australia. The play resumes. Ireland quickly working it downfield, but Arnold just outside her area. The goalkeeper in black executes the clearance, but it's a throw in for Ireland, taken quickly by Denise O'Sullivan. Back to Nia Fahy. Fahy plays it infield now for Risha Littlejohn, and Littlejohn spins and whips the ball out to Ireland's left-hand side to Katie McCabe, and McCabe now drifting into a central position. McCabe trying to dictate for Ireland. Here's Denise O'Sullivan getting on it. The Cork woman once again fed forward by Niamh Fahy out to Ireland's right-hand side as the cross comes in. Anna Kennedy trying to defend. The ball with Katie McCabe about 25 metres out. Ireland forced wide. Lucy Quinn picks it up for Ireland. Ireland trying to fashion an opening. Mackenzie Arnold manages to fist the ball away, only as far as O'Sullivan, who just lost her bearings at the crunch moment, and now Australia will try and counter. Forward with the layoff. Australia looking threatening once again. 24 minutes gone in the second half. The Aussies leading by 1-0. Courtney Vine, faced by two Irish players, and she's coughed up possession, and Ireland have it back once again inside their own half with Heather Payne driving forward now, halfway inside the Australian half. Ireland's right hand side, still Heather Payne, and Payne now, can she conjure up something here? The attempt across is blocked down, and Gorey gets there in the nick of time for Australia and just boots the ball out of play, but Ireland posing a threat getting down that right hand side, and Heather Payne unable to provide a telling ball. 1-0 Australia lead in the 25th minute. Heather Payne with the throw-in down the line as Lucy Quinn tries to carve out an opportunity and fashion something, and she does really well. She was in what looked like a no-win situation, but she's managed to get a corner kick for her team. Good work by Lou Quinn. 20 minutes remaining. And Ireland had this set piece. Well, you always feel with the Republic of Ireland that set pieces, free kicks, corner kicks, it's the way to go. So a big opportunity perhaps pending here for Ireland in the 26th minute of the second half, and it will be Katie McCabe from Ireland's right hand side to swing it in left-footed. Can Ireland make the most of this opportunity? Plenty in green waiting inside the area. Is this the moment for Ireland? Risha Littlejohn amongst those waiting. 2-3 players inside the 6-yard box as well, so you'd expect this to be swung in onto the crossbar of Mackenzie Arnold. Arnold looking for an equalising goal. It's a great ball in, and it'll run towards the back post where Louise Quinn was waiting, but the referee has sounded her whistle, and it's going to be a free kick to Australia. But Mackenzie Arnold under all kinds of pressure there from that whipped in free kick.
Yeah, she did extremely well to get a hand on that. That was an absolutely superb delivery from Katie McCabe. We're just unfortunate that we didn't get on the end of it.
Super delivery from the corner kick from Katie McCabe. And Mackenzie Arnold under all kinds of pressure did really well just to get a strong hand to it. Mackenzie Arnold manages to garner a free kick for her team. So in the 27th minute, Australia leading by 1-0. That was a decent little spell for the Republic of Ireland as they pushed forward and managed to get the corner kick. To try and create, that's the key for the Republic of Ireland, trailing as they do by 1-0 at a sold-out Stadium Australia. Lots of Irish fans here, and they've been building up towards this contest right throughout the week. Worked so hard, the team, during the course of the first half, but falling behind to that penalty, which was tucked home.
That was brilliant by Abby Larkin there. Her tracking, her work rate as well, is something that goes unseen.
And the big switch made by the Republic of Ireland out to this right-hand side will break now in favour of Heather Payne, and Payne now to deliver the cross towards the back post. The ball will bounce right in front of Mackenzie Arnold, and she gathers the ball in. Ellie Carpenter was nearby for company, but Mackenzie Arnold is under no real pressure, but it's a little more encouraging in the last few minutes for Ireland.
Yeah, definitely, especially on Heather Payne's side. She's getting up and down. Can we get more bodies in the box? Can we get more forward? Can we start putting a little bit more pressure on? I'd love to see that. We're in crunch time.
Yep, 27 minutes gone in the second half, but Australia rather unnecessarily have coughed up possession. It's fed forward by Katie McCabe, and the ever-willing Abby Larkin tried to deliver the cross. And Ireland have got another corner kick, so Larkin and Lucy Quinn have certainly made an impact since being introduced. So Larkin doing really well down that left-hand side, and Gorry had to defend the attempted cross and did so at the expense of a corner kick.
Yeah, absolutely. She's fearless, Abby Larkin. You know, she's getting into these spaces. We needed those fresh legs coming on, and we're in a good position now.
Now it's from Ireland's left-hand side, so that means it'll be Megan Connolly to take. Ireland looking for a leveller here in Sydney, trailing by 1-0, and it's swung in, and it's a difficult ball to deal with. It'll run to Denise O'Sullivan, and high over the crossbar in the end from just outside the area. Right-footed shot, just couldn't keep it down, and Australia continue to lead by 1-0. But Australia at the moment looking content with what they have and inviting Ireland on, and Ireland will try and create more opportunities, and a change about to be made by Australia. And Emily van Egmond, who's a very, very experienced player, is going to come on in place of Courtney Vine. So van Egmond coming in for her 129th international cap. This is her 4th World Cup final, so oodles of experience off the bench for Tony Gustafsson to draft in. And Courtney Vine, who perhaps has waned a little in the second half, she heads off, and Van Egmond is on.
Yeah, it looks like they're gone to a 4-2. They've changed formation from a 4-4-2. She looks like she's gone in beside Gorey. As two holding midfielders in front of the midfield, or in front of the defence. So yeah, hopefully
they've given it away, and an opportunity perhaps for Ireland. Abby Larkin driving forward in a very congested area as she advanced, just outnumbered in the end. But Ireland really have their tails up at the moment. Denise O'Sullivan holds it up at the end line, sends it back to Heather Payne. Good spell this for Ireland. Can they capitalise? Well defended by Clara Cooney-Cross, but it will be a corner kick for Ireland. They managed to draw several corner kicks in rapid succession here in the second half, and they have another set-piece delivery here to come now from Katie McCabe. And you saw the last time what she managed to achieve from this side, Ireland's right-hand side. She hung it right underneath the crossbar and really tested Mackenzie Arnold, and it almost led to an equalising goal for Ireland. Can she do something similar here? Well, a player going short to receive, but you have to imagine she'll send it in. Australia trying to defend this set-piece. It's hung up, a lot of hang time on the ball, and Australia managed to work it clear, but it'll be retrieved here for Ireland by Ruisha Littlejohn. Ruisha Littlejohn under pressure holds it up near the corner flag, far side of the pitch. Ireland on top at the moment, but trailing by 1-0 with just under a quarter of an hour to go. The ball goes out of play on the far side, and it will be a throw-in for the Republic of Ireland. You'd have to presume that Tony Gustafsson, the Australian manager, is perhaps a little perturbed and concerned at the moment, because Ireland have just taken a grip on the contest in the last 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, the fire is back in the belly. You can see it. They've gone from gear to gear, and we're just trying to get something on the end of it. We're in great position.
Well, an opportunity inside the area, and the trigger is pulled, and another opportunity fell away of Heather Payne, but it's blocked away by Australia. It was from a long throw-in, and Australia were just living dangerously. Ireland almost fashioning an equalising goal in Sydney. Not to be, but it's all Ireland at the moment, Claire.
Yeah, it is. Oh my, it just fell to Heather Payne, and she completely miskicked it. If she had connected with anything in that, it would have rippled the back of the net.
Well, Ireland continuing to press forward. Good work, good battling once again by Ciara Carusa, but it's back with Mackenzie Arnold, and the Australian goalkeeper rolls it short to Alana Kennedy, and they'll try and slow it down once again. The co-hosts of this World Cup competition, along with New Zealand, who had that marvellous win a little earlier, beating Norway by 1-0. Confirmation of the attendance, 75,784. So a full house here at Stadium Australia, as the Aussies tried to assert their grip on the contest once again. Back with Mackenzie Arnold playing a bit of a risky game. Australia, as they tried to play it out from deep inside their own half, out to Catley on this near side, trying to work it clear past Heather Payne, but they've coughed it up, Australia. And Ireland trying to threaten once again down this right hand side to Abby Larkin, and the ball played into the area, and it goes behind, and it'll be another corner kick for Ireland. Well, they've really taken control. Ellie Carpenter forced to defend, but it's another set piece for Ireland, another corner kick for Katie McCabe to take. Ireland knocking on the door here, Claire.
Yeah, you can see what they're after doing. They're stepping up. They're trying to feed off the energy. They're getting to the first balls. They're starting to press, and this is the Ireland that we love. This is the Ireland that has got us here. It's crunch time, as I said. There's 12 minutes to go, and that's a great
McCabe
delivery.
with the corner, and it's claimed by Mackenzie Arnold. She was under all kinds of pressure, but she dealt with it magnificently, and in the end the referee from Brazil has awarded a free kick to Australia, and Mackenzie Arnold has stayed down. And I dare not suggest it's gamesmanship on the part of Mackenzie Arnold, but she just wants to buy her team maybe a few seconds here. She was perhaps caught, to be fair, but it will be a free kick. But it was a brilliant delivery once again from Katie McCabe. Keep her under all kinds of pressure with Louise Quinn trying to get on the end of that delivery from Katie McCabe. Kilnamana's Katie McCabe, what a proud moment for her today, leading out the Irish team. But she'll be determined that it's not a losing one this evening in Sydney. Arnold has stayed down, and this will just break the Irish momentum, won't it?
You took the words from my mouth. This is just what they're going to do. It's game management for them. We need to regroup. We need to keep that going. We need to keep that energy going, because we're definitely going to get another opportunity, and we need to take it the next time.
So Mackenzie Arnold down requiring treatment at the moment, and it means that the Irish players can flood across to this near side and get some words of wisdom from Vera Pauw. And certainly offering a bigger threat in the last 20 minutes of the match, it has to be said, as the big screen shows Sam Kerr, the injured Australian captain. But they're doing the business without her, maybe not as effectively, but they lead here by 1-0. And this break arguably offers Vera Pauw an opportunity, Claire, to get some thoughts across to the players.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great moment. We have 10 minutes left plus added time. It's time to regroup, continue doing what we're doing. She's going to be extremely proud of them. I think, they've been excellent today. It was just that one slip up of the penalty that's been the difference between the two teams. And, there's still 10 minutes to go, as I said, and we need to keep pushing. We need to keep battling. We need to, create another opportunity, because if we do, anything can happen. And it'll just be great for them to get a result today, and they need to keep pushing.
Well, Mackenzie Arnold back on her feet, so Australia have possession, but Australia, they can break quickly on any team, and they're doing so just now as Hayley Rasso feeds it down that right hand side. Ireland trying to scramble bodies back defensively. The ball is pulled back to the edge of the area. Gorry with the shot, and it's well blocked away. Again, timely defending for Ireland, but that's the threat posed by Australia on the break. Meanwhile, at the other end, this game is really getting very, very stretched, but the outball is rather poor, and Australia have possession back deep inside their own half. Both sides guilty of giving away possession rather easily.
Yeah, absolutely. We were completely exposed there. It fell to Gorey at the edge of the box, and Niamh Fahey was in the right position at the right time, and Lucy Quinn then picks it up, and Australia on the break again.
And here they are, the ball played into the area, and more testing moments for the Republic of Ireland. The ball is sent back to the edge of the area.
Carpenter with a pull back, and the opportunity.
Lisa Sullivan for Ireland. We're on the break, the team in green. Ball fed out to the right hand side. Abby Larkin appealing for the ball on the far side. Ciara Carusa is down the line. It's fed to Ciara Carusa, and the ball just breaks away, and it'll be a corner kick for the Republic of Ireland. Really good stuff from Ireland. The last touch came off Alana Kennedy, and it's another corner kick on Ireland's right, which means one thing: Katie McCabe time. So McCabe trots across to this near side. Can Ireland get the equalising goal? Irish fans inside the stadium will absolutely erupt if they could do so. Mackenzie Arnold on the goal line. She knows what's coming. So Katie McCabe with that wand of a left foot to swing it in. Denise O'Sullivan waits on the edge of the area. Plenty in green awaiting the delivery here. It's hung up high, inviting. Nobody really challenging for Ireland. Hayley Rasso unable to work it clear. Ball breaks in favour of Ireland. Fed out to Katie McCabe on Ireland's right hand side once again. Takes a touch or two before delivering an inviting cross. and it's repelled by Australia once again. The follow-up is teed up by Louise Quinn. Out to Louis Quinn. To Lou Quinn. Yeah, Lou Quinn once again. Lucy feeds it wide now to Little John, who delivers, but it'll just drift behind. And it'll be a goal kick to Australia. Yeah, Louise Quinn, Lou Quinn, Lucy Quinn. But Lucy, also known as Lou Quinn as well, to her teammates and colleagues. But it just drifted behind that cross from Mauritia Littlejohn. And it'll be a goal kick to Australia as Claire Polkinghorne is getting ready to come on. We'll talk about Sam Kerr being a legend of Australian football. Claire Polkinghorne is very much regarded as one of the nation's favourites. She's been such a servant down through the years. She's had her injury issues, and Mary Fowler, the woman with the Dublin dad, is heading off. Scored in the friendly last week, but no goals from Mary Fowler against the country to which she's also closely aligned through her dad. Goes off, so that suggests a more defensive approach with Polkinghorne coming on and Mary Fowler going off.
Yeah, it looks like they're after dropping another one into the middle of the defence. Yeah, but Mary Fowler, she's one to watch for this tournament. She's been superb, and she's a young player coming through. And with Sam Kerr being out injured, it's a great opportunity for her.
Oh, here come Australia once again down Ireland's left-hand side. They're right as they look for what surely would be an insurance second goal, but unable to work the oracle on that occasion. Katie McCabe back defending once again for Ireland, played forward by the Republic of Ireland. The ball though breaking to Mauritia Littlejohn inside the centre circle, but Katrina Gorry, who's had such a big game for Australia, manages to come out on top in that particular duel. But Littlejohn has it back, but the referee has awarded a free to Australia. Halfway inside the Irish half, Katie McCabe protests to Edina Alves from Brazil, but it'll count for nothing. Mauritia Littlejohn deemed to be guilty of the misdemeanour, and it's a free kick about 40 metres out from goal. And once again, Katie McCabe continuing to protest the awarding of this free kick.
Yeah, Katie did. She's been absolutely unbelievable today. She's fought for everything. She's made an unbelievable interception there, that could have ended up being Australia capitalising on us. And she's in those positions, and she just needs to fight, and she's the leader, and she needs to lead that, and she has been doing that today.
So set piece free kick for Australia, central position, but it's some distance out. Nevertheless, Ireland putting up a two-player wall. Izzy Atkinson is getting ready to come on for the team in green. So Izzy Atkinson from Rush in North County Dublin will be on for her World Cup debut at a finals tournament, that is. So Ireland with this set piece to defend. Steph Catley over the dead ball. Gorry is there as well. Some distance out, but Catley might fancy having a go from this kind of range. It's optimistic, but she clips it towards the back post. Louise Quinn. Two Quinns on the field of play, but Louise Quinn dealt with that set piece. Hayley Rasso trying to weave her way through, and the attempted cross just a fraction too high for Hayley Rasso, who was stretching to get on the end of it, but just that shade too high. And it's a goal kick for the Republic of Ireland. Just over 3 minutes remaining, and as you mentioned, there may well be one more chance for Ireland, but I'll have to take it as Ciara Carusa goes off to be replaced by Izzy Atkinson. So plenty of pace now in the Irish attacking end of the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Atkinson's gone deeper, and Katie's after pushing on, so looks like Vera's really going for it. She obviously sees something, and we all see something, and I hope they can feel it as well from us. They can get anything from this game. We just need to believe.
Ball played down the line. Cooney Cross getting involved. Hayley Rasso is there as well. Holds it up, back with Cooney Cross, about 30 metres out from the Irish goal on Ireland's right hand side. Now Australia retaining possession with Catley, who sends it all the way back to Alana Kennedy. Polkinghorne is available, or Polks as the Australian supporters like to call her. Mackenzie Arnold, the Australian goalkeeper, out to the right hand side to Ellie Carpenter. Cleverly done by Katrina Gorry, and Gorry pings the ball forward, but straight to Heather Payne, who gets her head to it. Ball breaks in and around the middle, and Australia trying to pose a threat once again, unable though to combine. And now Megan Connolly has it back. and feeds it out to Ireland's left-hand side, but it's wayward from Ireland. They've gifted possession back to Australia, and the Matildas, who are waltzing towards victory at the moment as things stand in the 44th minute, leading by 1-0. The penalty slotted home very, very coolly by Steph Catley. That's the difference between the sides. So Ireland, well, they have to work and try and create another opportunity, if not maybe two, but they certainly have to try and grab one. Ball on Ireland's right-hand side, and the teasing cross. It's dealt with. Abby Larkin's attempt to cross. Mackenzie Arnold is there to make a pretty routine catch in the end.
Yeah, and Louise Quinn has gone up front as well to try and see if she can get on the end of something, and you can see what they're trying to do. Abby Larkin going at Steph Catley, is extremely positive.
Atkinson feeds it forward now for Lou Quinn down Ireland's left-hand side. Australia forced to defend for the last 15 minutes of the contest, and under real pressure here from Ireland as they put the squeeze on. Ball breaks just around halfway up towards the edge of the area, and that will be a free kick to Ireland right on the edge of the area in a brilliant position. And it was a little rash challenge from Claire Hunt, who gives away the free kick. What a promising position for Ireland here, Claire.
Yeah, and we've seen Megan Connolly convert these. She scored one against Finland in the qualifying games. She's well capable, and Katie McCabe as well standing over this. This is brilliant. This is an extremely positive position for us.
Claire Hunt with the clumsy challenge on Lou Quinn right on the edge of the area. It's slightly to the left of the goals, occupied by Mackenzie Arnold. She's just checking her angles at the moment. She's over near that right-hand post. So big opportunity for Ireland here. 2-3 players over the dead ball. Rusha Littlejohn offering advice. Katie McCabe is there. 6 additional minutes to be added on. So we're into the first of 6 additional minutes. So Megan Connolly, Katie McCabe and Rusha Littlejohn over this set piece. Anxious faces amongst the Australian supporters at the moment as we look around. They've set up their wall. It's a 5-player wall for Australia at the moment, with Nia Fahy standing right in front of that wall. Can Ireland make the most of this opportunity? Megan Connolly and McCabe over the dead ball. It's Connolly, takes a deflection onto the roof of the net. Ireland looking for handball. Well, they surround the referee. I'm sure it'll be checked. It's a corner kick at the very least for the Republic of Ireland, and it will be a corner kick. That's what results for Ireland, and Megan Connolly will take. Well, that was close. That was close for Ireland.
I'd love to see it back, because they obviously saw something, but we're still in a seriously positive position. It's a corner. Can we get something from this?
So Megan Connolly to take. She gives the signal. Ireland's left-hand side, rough-footed, swings it in right underneath the goalkeeper, who's under all kinds of pressure, and it drifts out for another corner on this near side. Ireland really piling on the pressure in the closing stages. In the 3rd minute of additional time, Australia clinging on here. It's another corner kick, another delivery to come from Katie McCabe. Dying embers of the match. Ireland knocking on the door, looking for an equalising goal. McCabe once again hangs it up towards the back post. Rusha Littlejohn is there, but it drifts behind, and it's a goal kick to Australia. Well, you felt perhaps that Katie McCabe really needed to whip it in. That corner kick, she just hung it up, and it was dealt with by Australia. But still time for Ireland. Still time, it must be said. We're in the 4th minute of additional time at the end of 90 minutes in Sydney. Ireland behind by 1-0. A penalty from Steph Catley early in the second half, as Mackenzie Arnold sends the restart long downfield. It breaks in the middle, and Ireland have possession once again with Katie McCabe, who goes down under that challenge from Katrina Gorey, and the referee keeps her card in her pocket for the moment, the Brazilian official, and Gorey with a rueful smile. McCabe went down, but it'll be a free kick for Ireland just inside the Australian half. So what can they make of this?
They can't see Izzy Atkinson over there in the left hand side. She's in some amount of space.
McCabe, they go short with the free kick, hangs up the cross towards the edge of the area, and the ball, well, it's ballooned high over the crossbar, and that opportunity comes to nothing for the Republic of Ireland in stoppage time after 90 minutes, and it's still Australia 1, Republic of Ireland 0 on this Game On special on 2FM. All of Ireland's matches here on 2FM, the dedicated channel for coverage of the Irish team at this World Cup final tournament in Australia. Mackenzie Arnold preparing to take the kick out. We're in the 4th minute of additional time, so is there going to be one more opportunity for Ireland? Niamh Fahey plays it forward. Van Egmond gets a touch to it for Australia. The ball just bobbing around inside the centre circle. But Ireland have it once again, fed out to this near side. And under pressure, Ireland have coughed up possession. Heather Payne just caught dawdling, and it's sent back by Niamh Fahey towards Courtney Brosnan. Now Australia putting the squeeze on Ireland, but really calmly done by Ireland to play their way out of trouble. Risha Littlejohn sending it back to Niamh Fahey. The ball played forward. Louise Quinn is now playing as a striker for Ireland as they will try and pump it forward here. Heather Payne sliding it forward towards Katie McCabe, but it all breaks down for Ireland. A rather rash swing of the ball from Niamh Fahey, but it works out for Ireland, who've retained possession as they try to go for broke in the dying embers of the match. The ball's played forward, but again Australia have bodies in the way. Risha Littlejohn gets on it for Ireland, feeds it out to the left hand side. Now an opportunity for Ireland with Heather Payne to deliver the cross, hangs it up towards the back post, and Ireland looking for a decision that doesn't go in their favour, and it'll be big. Now a restart for Australia. Lou Quinn on the end of that cross just went to ground, and Catley goes down inside the area. Steph Catley has sustained a knock, and this will waste more time as far as Australia are concerned.
This has been one of the best performances I think I've seen from Ireland. You know, they can take some seriously positive things from this game and bring it into the next 2 games. You know, hopefully we can get another opportunity and we can take it, because that's how good the girls have been today. And you know, they've just shown how good they are and what this team is about.
Well, it's certainly been a brave display in the second half when they fell behind early in the second period. Well, they had to just weather a purple patch from Australia after they made the breakthrough. But it's been all Ireland pretty much for the last 25 minutes of this match, dictating the game, going after Australia. Perhaps a more tentative approach from Ireland in the first half, but they have gone for broke in the second period. Mackenzie Arnold just wasting so much time here, and that's got the ire going of the Irish supporters inside Stadium Australia as the ball is sent forward, and Ireland have it back once again. And a look at the watch tells us we're in the 51st minute. Ireland have an opportunity now for Abby Larkin. The pullback, Katie McCabe is there, works it on to her right, and the poked effort is saved by Mackenzie Arnold. Still there for Ireland, but it's eventually shoveled clear by Australia. Was that the moment for Ireland?
Oh, we are so close. If it just fell onto her left leg, that was rippling the back of the net. But I think Denise O'Sullivan is...
The ball is swung in, and Quinn with the header. Louise Quinn glances it wide of the target. And Australia, well, they're almost there. They're still leading 1-0, but Ireland continuing to press forward here. Chance after chance in the last few moments.
Yeah, it is. You know, we're creating, and that's what we need to do. And will one of them just go into the back of the net?
Well, the clock tells us we're ticking towards the 7th minute played. This is almost it, you'd have to imagine. And the referee sounds her whistle. It's all over. It's been valiant from the Republic of Ireland, but Australia have claimed victory. They have won this Group B match by 1 goal to nil. Steph Catley with a penalty after Mirza Shiva was guilty of barging into the back of Hayley Rasso early in the second half. No mistake for the penalty, but what a gutsy second half display from Ireland. They've come up short. Vera Pauw's Tigers really tried to deliver, but they've come up short.
Yeah, and they're going to feel hard done by. You know, they deserve something from the game, and this is going to hurt, but they have another game in 5 days time, so you know it's going to be physically draining, you know, mentally draining. That game was extremely physical, and there's going to be, you know, they're just going to feel really hard done by, I think, but they can take a lot of positives from tonight's game. And yeah, you know, the whole of Ireland is extremely proud of the girls. You know, they gave it everything. They just fell up a little bit short.
Well, we caught a shot there a few moments ago of Marissa Shiva. She's inconsolable. Anya Gorman was just trying to look after him, perhaps just use her experience in terms of try not to focus too much on it, but obviously Marissa Shiva feeling really bad about that penalty kick. Well, Australia the winners here by 1-0. It's a disappointing outcome for the Republic of Ireland, but they were so gallant in the second half. But it's Australia who won this opening match. Defeat for Ireland. Australia 1, Republic of Ireland 0.
Thanks, Adrian and Claire. Yeah, absolute disappointment there for Ireland, and I think it was because the manner of their performance. They were absolutely fantastic. They went after that game. They gave everything, but Alan Cawley, they just couldn't get that goal.
Yeah, they came up short, Marie, and obviously on reflection they're going to be so disappointed, because the one thing we asked for them was a performance, and once they acquitted themselves really well, obviously when you factor in the occasion and the opposition and what we were up against, and they absolutely did all those things to tick every box in that regard, Marie. First half they were so comfortable. We're saying at half time that we want them to maybe keep more of the same, but believe in the fact that there's a result there for them, and then you just give away such a soft, needless penalty. And I feel for Shiva, but it was more a clumsy challenge than anything else, and to lose the game then off the back of that is so disappointing, because the reaction they showed once Fear made a couple of substitutions, and they really went after the game the last 20-25 minutes. Endless amount of corners, never really created a clear-cut chance. Possibly Louise's one near the end there was probably the best chance in you'd fancy her, because she's so good in the air. Abby Larkin, the introduction, 18 years of age, she was absolutely fantastic when she came on. And yeah, you'd be so disappointed, because they gave so much, they gave absolutely everything, and they put up a really, really good show, Marie, and they deserved at least a draw at the very least.
Yeah, I think it's going to hurt. It's really going to hurt physically for one, but mentally as well, because I feel that they just realised a little bit too late that they were in this game, that they could actually get something from the game. And when you saw what Abby Larkin could do when she started to run at them, Rebecca, 18 years of age, unbelievable, playing in the Women's National League as well, the brightest future ahead of her. I know that it's a disappointment, but the positives as well, there are so many of them.
So many. Like she changed the game, I think, when she came on. You know, fresh legs, she was fearless, she was going at them. They didn't know what to do with her. And I don't know where they would have got that goal from if they hadn't got that penalty either, you know, because they didn't really threaten us in the second half at all. And I think they did, you know, try and give us, we kind of, you know, battled hard and kept them out defensively. So yeah, look, it's disheartening, you know, I'd say for them. They'll be mentally drained now after that one, you know, obviously the build up and stuff, and obviously physically, you know, have a quick turnaround of 5 days. So look, they'll all just need to get back to the drawing board, as they say. But look, Abby Larkin was a breath of fresh air, and you know, I'd like to see her hopefully maybe start next game.
I think she just arrived on the stage, and for the crowd here, we're live in Templeogue United on 2FM, the crowd watching her, she had them off their feet. She engaged so many people, and although they didn't get the result, I think it's really important to mark as well that this was more about creating a legacy, inspiring a generation, performing, doing the country proud. They were in bonus territory because of the battle that they faced to get to a World Cup. They delivered on that. We wanted them to deliver a performance. We wanted them to inspire a generation. And Alan, sitting in a roadcaster looking out at 100 kids, couple of hundred kids, watching a big screen, getting up there off their feet to watch Abby Larkin, you can't really ask for more than that.
No, it wasn't just the kids, it was the adults who were going a bit wilder than the kids, to be honest. But yeah, they've been absolutely brilliant, Marie. I'm so heartened by the performance, I really am, because all the focus is on Australia. People are going in, will we get a result? No one was kind of giving us much of a chance, much of an opportunity. I felt we were very much capable of getting a result, and they proved that. And I suppose the big shift really now is that they believe in themselves a little bit more, that they're fully capable of competing on this level, because some people were suggesting Australia are in the mix as one of the favourites to win it. Not on that evidence, none whatsoever, because for large spells, particularly near the end, we outplayed them. Now the criticism will come as to why didn't we go for it a bit sooner, but the only reason, Marie, we went for it a bit sooner is because we fallen a goal down. And at that stage the game is very much still in the balance, and if you open up too early you might get exploited. So I can understand that. Once you make the changes, then maybe for the next game now Vera can look and think, can I be a bit more aggressive in my team selection? Can I get Abby into the team? Because as Rebecca rightly says, she was a breath of fresh air, and not just with her energy and her enthusiasm, her quality that she possesses as well. She was the one that broke down the right near the end there and pulled a lovely ball back to Katie, and we nearly got a goal off that as well. So I definitely think she's stood up to the mark in terms of not just saying it's great that I'm 18, here I am. It's great that she's 18 and get her in the team is what I'd be saying.
Yeah, I totally agree. And another thing that they're going to have to build on, Rebecca, as well in that second half, although they had a lot of possession in the first half, when they didn't have time on the ball and were under that bit of pressure, the first touch, there was a bit of sloppiness. They didn't seem to be able to command the ball like they had done in the first half. And when you go playing against a team like Canada, who are athletic, they have the pace, and Nigeria as well, that they need to be able to do something with the ball and do it quickly.
Yeah, most definitely. I think they gave their all there in the first half. You know, they ran themselves ragged, and I think across the full game they did so. You know, obviously that sloppiness did creep in the middle of the second half there, and it's just a case of just mental tiredness, physical tiredness. You know, as you said, they've got two big kind of quests ahead of them in Canada and Nigeria. They'll be back, as I said, mind the bodies now for the next few days, back out on the training pitch, loosen up and go again. And look, they've given a courageous performance there, and they can be very proud of themselves. Obviously a few tweaks we need to make, but look, I'm sure they'll be heads screwed on for the next game.
You can see them now, Al, they're in a huddle, there's disappointed faces. Vera is talking to them, Katie no doubt will have a few words as well, but that's a team that came out, wanted to perform, wanted to get a win. They did their country proud, I must say, but they will be so disappointed with that result.
Yeah, because all the talk before this, Marie, and rightly so, was the achievement in getting there, and we've all focused on that heavily, and rightly so, as I say. But once you're there to win and try and get through, and the objective is to get into the next round and all. As much as they want to create that legacy, you're in the moment, you're in the game, you want to obviously do as well as you can and try and get points on the board. So they'll be so disappointed off the back of that performance. But once they're done from the fact that the performance they put in, bring it into the game against Canada, bring it into the Nigeria game, and it's all to play for.
Yeah, the concern I have though is that they didn't create that many chances, and when you look at the volume of set pieces that they had, the amount of corners that they were getting in there, but the fact that they weren't able to convert, and it'll probably be a similar.
I think a bit of, in fairness, the goalkeeper was very, very good, Aaron, because everything we threw, and there was some brilliant deliveries from Katie. We probably never really got Louise on the end of a couple of things, only the cross, which was from open play near the end, but the set pieces we probably never really got her on the end of things. But there was balls going in under the goalpost there and under the crossbar. She was under serious pressure, and she did very well, the Australian goalkeeper.
Is it a belief thing as well? Because when you look at that final ball from Heather Payne had an opportunity, Katie had an opportunity, probably didn't connect as well as they would have liked to. Is that a bit of a belief thing as well, Rebecca?
Probably, yeah. You look at the Australian team, they are quite tall, you know, especially across the back line. You know, we probably rely on Louise Quinn heavily in terms of set pieces and corners to get in on the end of them. When Caldwell's on the pitch, same thing. You know, it's just one of those things, need to get in on top of the keeper. I was calling there one stage, just throw Louise on top of the keeper, you know, anything else can fall then for us. I probably would have liked to see Amber Barrett maybe come on as well. You know, that the last 10 there was prime, you know, time for her to maybe nick a goal. You know, Abby Larkin, as I said, was doing great down that right, as was Payne. We got some great crosses in, but just no bodies on the end of it, sadly.
From a defensive perspective, Alan, it was really good, as it is more often than not, and the way that those that back three they're able to withstand pretty much anything, and you know, we look at the maturity of them, and they're not exactly you know, especially Niamh and Louise, they're not young players, but they're able to cope with the waves of attack, whatever's coming at them. They don't ever seem phased.
Yeah, because the two that you named there, it's experience that allows them to withstand that, Marie, to be fair, and obviously they're banking on all that experience that they've built up. We spoke about needing Courtney to be in the game massively, and she wasn't, you know, and that just tells you exactly how well the girls played. It wasn't like she had to pull off save after save. If anything,
they play the game above their shoulders, you know what I mean? They can read the game so well. They don't rely on the legs that maybe the youth have, you know. They're so
Louise Quinn was getting up and down.
Louise Quinn was an absolute wall. But I would agree with Amber about Amber, just in terms of the fact that I think Amber should have been thrown on, especially with nothing to lose at that stage. She should have brought her on.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us, Alan and Rebecca. That is all we have time for here on this very special Game On 2FM. We will be back, though, at 6 o'clock with more analysis, and over the next week or so, we will have 2 more outside broadcasts. We'll be heading to Swords Celtic for the Canada game, and we will also be in Bows for the Nigeria game, so do keep following us and keep tuned in. Tracy Clifford is up next, but now it's time for your 1 o'clock news, read a little bit late.